Welcome to the closing show. Markets trying to bounce here as it's been a tough day. You got the NASDAQ, you got the ES, both red as tech had a strong week and a strong day yesterday. Let's look how American markets are doing. Like I just said, the S&P down 0.59%. The Dow really taking on the chin, almost down a percentage point at 0.8. The NASDAQ down 0.75 of a percentage point. Toronto kind of unmoved as the energy and commodity heavy TSX just basically stays flat. Brazil also right on the day. Bitcoin flat. Ethereum, though, off the Shanghai update yesterday, up 3.5%. Let's see how the sectors are doing. We got a decidedly green side there, and that's under financials. Banks doing well today, so it's been an interesting day on the markets. Yeah, so essentially what we have is we've had a big trade on banks today. A lot of them reported. You had Wells Fargo, you had Citi, you had JP Morgan, all basically saying that, the deal-making business is off for the moment. They've been making money off the difference in the interest rate. We've seen over the last couple of months when this whole banking debacle started, a lot of inflows from the small and regional banks into these big players, and that really did show itself on the balance sheet on the quarter. So without further ado, we have Neil up at the big board. He's got the trade of the day.
The day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World, and it's going to be Rivian today. Now, obviously, you had Lucid give some delivery numbers, and they were not very good. They weren't even able to deliver as many vehicles as they produced for the second quarter in a row. But Rivian also catching a downgrade, and it's all about where the stock has come from. It hasn't been good. Let's be realistic. $14, it's been a bit of a tear, but I got a 60-minute up because I just want to show that previous 14 bottom. And if you look at the last couple of sessions in here, that has been a wick low with some support around that 14.20 area. So that was the target zone that I was looking for. You'd already gapped down into it. So, with the Lucid news and the downgrade, you knew we were going to be in that target zone. And quite frankly, unless you're sitting in it in the pre-market, you could have had 14s if you wanted to sit in this one in the pre-market. Congrats to you if you did. Unfortunately, we were looking for a pop. Now, I wanted fills in that 14 to 14.20 range. In this case, it pops at the open, or just before the open actually, gives some fills at 95, turns underneath of 14. That was it. Those are the only fills you could have. There was no money fills over 14 into that 14.20, like trapping some, bottom picking, breakout longs. That would have been fantastic. We got some out at the low of the day just in case it was going to make another squeeze to the upside. And here's where I want to pop back in. So I had the low of the day. Where's your next target? Well, I want to go right back into the last time we were beneath that level. This is the other side of the chart. You had a kind of a weak consolidation low. You have a 1350 bottom in here. And then on the way back up the next day, you had this little 1320 area where you had a wick bottom at the open and then a run to the upside. So we knew kind of the area that we wanted to see it go to. When it got to that 60 level out in front, out behind is 1350 held. Now the reason for this second out kind of feels a little bit random. At the same time as we bounced off of 1350 on Rivian, Lucid was making a strong bottom at $7.50. So both these names were headed to the downside. There was a really strong bid on Lucid. Thought it was going to drag both of them to the upside, so did take more shares out of Rivian. Once it held our original first exit, that pre-market 1380 support, saw it bounce there. Let's go for the lower high. Worked into view up, a little greedy, didn't take anything out when it got to view up. And then I got stopped out the high. Now, if I make a wick top and I believe in the trend, jump right back in. Pretty much got the same price, maybe a penny better than we got before. This time I take some out in front, underneath VWAP. Didn't want to be as greedy. We still want to take some out when it gets to that 1350 area. And then, of course, you're talking about that 1320. So once it got down to the 25s, that was going to be our out. Only make a decision where you need to. Meanwhile, I don't have a chart of Lucid up. Lucid actually, while this was happening, held that 750 bottom. So with Lucid holding the bottom, Rivian went. You had a feeling it was going to be pretty weak there. At the end of the day, this was a stock breaking a multi-day level to the downside with a weak catalyst, with a downward trend on the daily chart. Pretty much everything you're looking for with the short trade, it had it there for you. All you had to do was hang on to it. That's why it's Rivian, and your trade of the day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World.
Great stuff there, Neil. That is the scan to the watch list. Make sure to scan that and get the watch list sent to your inbox every morning. I use it. Brendo writes it up. It's a hell of a watch list. Make sure to be informed so you're ready for the movers before the trading day starts. Get that. All right, let's get right into it, guys. Big tech. It's been a sell-off kind of day. We had a big day on the NQ yesterday, kind of giving back a little bit of those gains. Tesla among the losers. Tesla's down on the day. Likewise with Netflix. Netflix was a sympathy play yesterday for the Warner Brothers or the Discovery HBO Max, merger where the new Max platform there. Netflix bouncing yesterday, likewise with Disney, but today giving back some of those gains. Microsoft as well, relatively weak to the downside. What's the move, if any, guys, on tech today?
Sharif in the building.
Yes, sir. It depends on which tech.
Yeah, actually. But you know what? Tech's been pretty beat up here since the open. So we go to the downside. You changed us over to a bear, and I was like,
I didn't. No.
Oh, was it Randy? Randy was here. So
Randy did.
All right, so we are bearish now. But yeah, big tech sell-off. I mean, I feel like Google's been pretty strong so far here today. We can definitely look at that. Meta's been up and down. Meta actually took out 222 or 221 and change. We can go. We have Meta on there. Wow, look. See what happens when Sharif's on there? Sharif just running the board now, boy.
Everything's on that run.
Bowling Blues is on there. Everything's on there.
Big banks, bang.
Bring back Brendan, man. This is too much work for me right here. But, okay, we'll talk about Meta quickly because I think that's a name that's on everybody's mind anyways. There's Meta, and I was actually talking with Fahad about this earlier in on the day. And I was talking with Neil about the same kind of move is that you really need to try to judge them. When you're trading big cap names like a Meta, Google, Microsoft, all that, you kind of got to judge them against what the market's doing. And the market, I mean, look at Meta today. 217 open, right? Rips up to 222. The 52-week high is, of course, you want to talk about that picture there?
AI generated, man.
Yeah, you're sick, Fahad. Don't worry, we know.
Okay.
Fahad just wants me to comment.
We get it, Fahad.
About how nice that picture is up there at the top right. Is it the top right for the people's watching screen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's top right.
So shout out Fahad. Yes, you are the man on that one. So thank you, Fahad, for that. But anyways, Meta goes straight up, almost hits their 52-week high of 224, goes right to 222. But look what the NASDAQ did earlier on in the morning as well. Boom, shot right up to the upside, right? So basically just following the market, look at the market pull back, and then if we look at Meta, then if we look at Meta real quick, you're gonna see the exact same story here for Meta with a nice pullback and then an upside move. So all I did was just kept buying off the 200 period, made money right there. Meta's my #1 stock today by far. It's not even close. Bought in here, got back and forth before it was wrong, then just went short, man, and we caught some great shorts on Meta. These are 220s, this is 218. The only mistake was, look where it dead stopped. Stupid not to have either gone long here. I did hold a little piece back to the upside where we averaged back in and made some more cash right there, but it stopped right at the day's bottom there. So that was right from the open. It came in like that, almost, it's probably to the penny, 217.60, 217.50, right into there. Came right back in, and then that was that move upside. So that's what I'm talking about. I've traded them all. This is just a rundown, so we will go over it because I'm sure I'm in an AMD short right now. That's $1 in the money, even though we have it coming up here about Elon's AI bet with NVIDIA. We'll talk about that. You can see here on AMD, this has been a great short for me. Look at this short. Boom, boom, all the way to the downside right now. We'll go right there. So that was a huge move down for AMD, and then we stopped around here. And again, I didn't put that last bit out, right? So I thought maybe we'd have a free fall Friday again today, which we're not really getting, only down 1% here on AMD. Let's see if it can retake, but possibly getting back into some shorts here. So those are sort of my big tech. Amazon is my only, well, I have a couple red names, but Amazon is the biggest one by far, and I'll just review that as we go. I want to talk about Apple, but I thought you did as well.
I'm going to talk about Apple first. I'm going to start with Apple because I made a comment in the morning show to the effect of I only went long Apple today. And I think I said if it was any other stock, I would be shorting it right now. And that was sort of, you saw how strong Apple was yesterday. It goes into that 166 level. That's pretty much where it got to, pull back into 165. So you see the big move that it made to the upside. And once it cleared the high, that 166, I'm like, let's go for long. If it's going to be a long day, then Apple had room to 170. But if you look at the battle that got waged up there, when you're chasing a move, like that's 166, just can't even break the quarters in the 30s. Won't do it, won't do it. We get a great dip buy, pretty much off of the close, like 166.5 is where it closed. We get a dip buy in front of that, goes right back up to the high. It's like, okay, we just got even a better win. And then we reload this one. And when we're loading this consolidation here, I'm not aggressive in taking it out like we were before. We stop out, and that's where I was like, if it was any other stock, I'd be looking short now, because you failed the 166 break, you failed the previous close, you have a ton of runway to the downside, you've now broken the afternoon consolidation. I'd be thinking about, okay, short into the low, and then if you're thinking short at that point, I'm then shorting this pop in here. Actually, well, I kind of scalped some, made a little bit back with the long in here off of the double bottom. But truth be told, I talked about this. It's always hindsight, but the question is how can you be better? If this was like if a firm had the same setup, like 10 times out of 10, you're taking that trade. Well, at least I am, anyways. Alphabet. Someone asked in the chat, why is Alphabet so strong? I don't know, but it is. So we're just going long, right? So. And sometimes you have to have an explanation. Other times it's just like, if it's weak, it's just short it, and if it's strong, just kind of stick with the long. So different story with Alphabet. Now, I did not go long until it reclaimed yesterday's high. So unlike Apple, we chased the move up. We're going long here. We're going long in the rebound. We're going long the dip buys. With Alphabet, no, don't do any of that. When it reclaims the high, everything else is breaking down, and this one reclaims yesterday's top. That is the only price, except for VWAP in there, that we've taken. Long into the high of the day, hold on to a piece for the break of the high. So it's got a quadruple 108 top, which if the market recovers, I don't see any reason why Alphabet's not going through it. I'll zoom in. That wick is ugly. If it gets through, you do have a wick above this 108 into 109. That could easily be resistance, but good chart for it. 0.5% to the upside as we speak. Let's see if it can go further.
Guys, interesting look here. Before we get to small caps, Tiff Macklem on the mic right now making a statement saying it's far too soon for the Bank of Canada to consider rate cuts, also saying that rates may need to remain higher for longer to obtain that 2% goal. So for our Canadian viewers, this is obviously relevant, especially those in the real estate market. All right, guys, let's get to it. PTPI. The big boy small capper of the day. This one is still in play. We're still knocking on the door of $8. This one still looks like a possible long. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but there's been all sorts of bamboozlement on the small cap front today. Chief among them, CNSP. This one did a big boy $2 break and then flushed almost all the way back to $1. Also ALLR. Wow, if there's a Christmas tree V-shaped retracement, this has got to be one, guys. Neil, how do you see those?
Which one is the question? Like, and this is the funny thing about this is, like, can we say, like, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot here because, quite frankly, if you guys have been watching the midday show, I know you guys have been absolutely crushing it. And I'm talking about yourself and Max when it comes to the small caps. And now, look, I can show you the way I tried to play SAI. I want to call it SAI, just because it sounds cool. But SAI, the way I tried to play it was, let's just go for consolidation. I picked one stock that I liked. If I didn't catch the break, it kind of consolidated here. I'm like, I'll go long off 5, and if it breaks out, we'll scalp some, hold the rest for, I was kind of trying to hold the other half for like 6s, and then maybe it goes to $7. Who the heck knows? It breaks consolidation down. I'm like, okay, that's it. Tried it. Didn't work. We got a little win, then we reloaded and it lost. So that was my entire experience with the small caps today. I didn't trade any other ones. I didn't even look elsewhere. So, like, my question to you is, what do you like this afternoon? Maybe we can have a look at that one. Because, I was one and done on SAI, and then it was just big caps for the rest of the day. Google's through 108, by the way.
Yeah, this market really starting to get going now. As we'll test one more piece on Meta here, about to get out. If it just takes a little bit higher than this, we're not going to be like averaged in here on Meta. We already hit some nice shorts, and there it is. So now we're out of Meta. Unfortunately, I don't have much to talk about because I have the same SAI opportunity here where we'll talk about it. Nice move up, caught it there at $6, out 7.22, and then dropped it off when it broke 550. So that's the only trade that I have today. But I mean, there's been so many crazy little runners today. And like Neil said, let's just go through the rundown and then we'll have a look at some of these stocks as we continue to go through the close here. So SAI is just one of those. There was what, PPTI, there was a few other ones. I don't think GFAI, CXAI was a runner today. Wow, it's still $13, but we saw where this one was in the pre-market. We talked about that. Neil has a wick up to $60. We have it up here at $28, $30, and just since then, man, just been faded pretty much all day and bouncing off $11 or $12. But we'll get into this as we go. You know, a big one is just C3AI. As long as that stays above 20, I do like this. We've had a great trade on this one at $20 a couple times, and you know, we should have put it on again. We had this move from 20 to 26 or 27 there last week, and then we could have done it again. But always looking at C3AI down here near that $20 mark. So that seems to be one of the safest plays that you can find in the AI space, because you have such a key level that's held now over and over and over and over
again
and over again.
Moving right along, guys, let's get to EVs. These guys, they've been riding a good tailwind for a little bit, right? We had the EPA come out and say we're going to have regulations to artificially increase the amount of EVs being produced by some of these EV automakers. You figured, you know, they'd benefit from that, but they can't produce them. Let's look at the Lucid chart. Lucid decidedly down on the day. You saw Neil trading Rivian. Rivian also decidedly down the day. Lucid can't produce enough vehicles. Rivian catching a downgrade. FSR also down 7% in sympathy is Fisker. Do we have a play on some of these EVs in the afternoon?
So, by the way, I actually took a hit shorting Lucid on the way back to the upside. And Lucid was really, we already talked about Rivian, so there's no need going there. Like, this is me getting into Lucid on the way back up and stopping out. It ends up being a good short if I had just kind of stuck with it, but then that's like hold it and average in, and then, didn't want to do that because the volume spike, and I'm going to show you on the 3-minute maybe at some point, 750, big wall on the 15-minute there. But what happened on this name right in the middle of the day, it broke 750, that area, for what looked like for good on a big volume spike there, and then immediately recovered. And then again, higher low off 750, another big volume spike, and then started going up. So, you know, I shorted basically when it started reversing and then off the high. I don't like that setup. That's a big time reversal. Big time reversal. If anything, that was a long at 750. Sometimes something is down so far that it's just going to hold the low. It's like it didn't want to go 10% to the downside. And the other thing, which I totally forgot about, I said it 3 times in the open show, Lucid did have the SSR bounce, like the short sell restricted bounce. It didn't actually, I don't think it went that 10%. It bounced off of that, and that's where it caught the bottom. So you always want to respect that. When a big name stock hits 10% to the downside, sometimes you can get a relief rally. You know, I don't have to tell you what the daily chart looks like, but Lucid's got some support here above the $7 level. As ugly as it might be, there are buyers every time this ducks under $8 for at least the last month and a half. Maybe in the last 2 months, in there, a month and a half. So when it gets down there, you have to at least respect that, start looking or thinking about the long trade, because Lucid, it's showing you it works, as weak as the chart might be.
All right, EVs dump. Okay, so we had Rivian. I mean, Neil had the Rivian trade. I didn't have it today, but it was the #1 name on the sticky note. I think it just continues to be.
What was the picture?
He talked about Fisker. No, the picture's on your trade of the day.
Yeah, that's my bad. In my
Is
head.
that another picture that Fahad did?
Okay.
All right.
No, that's my bad. I forgot.
All right, let me just talk about a new trade I have. Neil just talked about all the EVs right now. I think you can always look at Tesla, of course, as well. I'm going to short Apple here. Nice little move back up to the upside. I was going to do it against 165, but we take an early position now at 16. What am I short at here? 75. So it's right here. You can take it if you want. I'm just looking against that VWAP right now. Apple, good. We're up today on Apple. So nice move, nice move. Short didn't work. We got in and out. It was more just this long that worked. We tried it again, in and out. We tried the short, in and out. So, you know, besides paying a little bit of fees there, we'll take a short right now back in for Apple against 165. Just trying to give it this range. The market's still red. Apple's still red. Plus, I don't know if this is, you know, the move upside that we're thinking about right now into a Friday. I don't know. We've been wrong before. I mean, the NASDAQ continues its march higher off the bottom, but again, we're just going to retest 13.1, I think. And if we do that, then we definitely have at least 25 cents back here to the 200 period, right? And then after that, we have the 50 and a little bit lower. So I'm going to hold out that this Apple short is going to be right. And if it's not, it's 25 cents either way, right? If the target's going to be down here, that's 25 cents. And I think we can go lower. And then our out is right up there at 165. So I like this trade. I think it's planning out pretty well for me as the EV dump continues. I mean, you didn't really talk about Tesla too much.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Or did you? No, you did not,
no,
right? So Tesla, again, I don't think Tesla's a trade here. We're going to have Daniel Shea on next week. It's in the middle right now of all of this. So I'm not excited about it. I mean, if you wanted to trade it in the middle of the day here, I had one long. We got 50 cents, lost 50 cents. It's about as easy as you can look at it, except for this was on 2/3 and that's on 1/3. So net down 50 cents on Tesla today. Not really a big deal at all. We are down on the stock, but because it was only on 1/3 of our position, it's pretty easy to go. I'm still looking for a 180 bounce. Until we get a 180 bounce, and I'm staying away from Tesla. So for me, that's a hard pass. But yeah, it's doing okay. Nice battle back from the bottom there. And we did have the Elon news, and we're going to get to that in a couple minutes about AI.
Guys, let's plug along here. We had earnings season kick off today, and we always start with banks. JPM reporting, Citi reporting, as well as Wells Fargo. JPM now up 7 1/3% on the day. Let's go to the chart. We are at day's high on JPM, knocking on the door of 139. Likewise with Citi, almost up 5% on this one. We're real close to $50 on Citi. Weaker, though, on Wells Fargo, almost flat after putting a good pre-market move early, guys. Anything on the banks?
Yeah, you know what? There was something on JPM, but it wasn't the trade that I initially wanted. So I'm disappointed with JPM, quite frankly, for myself, because it was 135 was the level that we liked, and we sort of talked about this when you have pre-market earnings and reacting at the open when a stock is at the price that you're looking to trade off of. It's going to be right there. It's always tricky at 9:30. It's trickier when it's earnings. So that was your 135. Your other level was it breaking out at 138. So that set up two different trades. You can obviously see which one I got. This is like, look at the gap. I can go to the 3-minute chart maybe here. Yeah, so look at the gap to the upside. It comes right down in early to 135, and it's just hovering down there at the open. So you know if you take that trade, like immediately 135 at the open, like what are you giving it against you? Like if you put a 20-cent stop in, you're just going to get stopped out like 9 times out of 10. If you give it $1, maybe you get run over and you just start your day horribly. But if you didn't take it right away, you had no chance to get it. And then it was just 138 to 138.5 over and over, and that's all there was today. A couple of moves into 139, but 138 to 138.5. There's nothing wrong with that trade, but 135 was the level on JPM. It's just sitting there holding 7% to the upside. I mean, you got to like it. It's a great start to earnings season. You can see where this is in the daily. I did say if this gets to 144, 145 next week, you're probably looking for a fade. I think that's common sense, but strong day for JPM. I mean, the other banks were okay, but JPM was the one. It's just super strong day. Holding the top end of the range while the market was just flushing is fantastic for JPM.
Okay. Wow. I'm just, obviously I talk about the banks if you guys want. But right now, Apple's trying to go right now. Pretty good, man. We're short at 85 right now on Apple, and we just got a 90. But remember where our out is, man? 165. But this got like, what the hell is going on? This is getting like real exciting real fast right now for this market here, man. Like we were just cruising and now we're bruising.
I think we need to maybe talk about the next thing here.
Yeah, maybe, but we're about to get out of Apple right now. If it takes out, I mean, where did this come from? Like, we were just sitting here, everything was calm, and we were just like 170. Okay, that's good. Oh, I got my 180. Bang! There's your 190, your 90 fill there as well. Sorry, I see 190, 164.90. But okay, straight back up. You can see I'm not trying to throw away more today on this move. So there it is. It's a huge move up for Apple. Congratulations. I have no idea what that was all about. As the NASDAQ right now, not even really at any key levels in my opinion. I thought we'd have to take this out for me to be worried about my Apple trade, but this got going real quick now. Short. I wish I was long 85. Short 85 on Apple. Just giving it 15 cents. But hey, that move was a little aggressive. Maybe this market is trying to get back to Greensville. Randy, I told you about changing this guy over.
Yeah, Randy.
But it is bearish right now, and Mr. Sharif has a guest at the desk, but just a visual guest as he's not mic'd up.
Damn.
Yeah, guys, Randy's here. He's going to log in. We'll have a chat. But let's move on to Elon's new escapade. Yes, Elon is throwing his hat into the AI ring. Not something new for him. In fact, you'll recall that he was one of the founders of OpenAI, but left their board in 2018 due to differences with their board on how they wanted to move forward with the strategy. You'll also recall that Elon was one of the individuals who signed the open letter along with Steve Wozniak, warning for caution as we explore this AI and especially the generative AI style, guys. So it looks like Elon's been spending some money as well. He's been buying up these NVIDIA GPUs en masse to try and create the computer large enough for the language model. What do we have, if anything, on this trade? I mean, I don't know. Sean was just talking about Tesla, but let's see what they've got there.
So,
man, Sharif, I mean, this Fahad guy, look what he did. He puts Elon Musk in a trade. Although I think Elon Musk is a little bit bigger than that.
Before you ask him to do one for you,
yeah,
he showed me one that he made of me, and I look like I look like Gollum. I'll find it, but it's horrible.
Darkness.
I look like Gollum in the picture. But what happens when Elon tweets about NVIDIA and you're short NVIDIA? So, well, if you're curious about what that looks like, this is what it looks like. Because, look, NVIDIA, that 263, it was breaking down at 263. And anybody who was in the chat knows I was talking about it as it happened, and I was just kind of loading. I got into it like 3 times down here, 75, 6. I was just, instead of getting, I was just adding to it. I got one fill in front of 62, and then it started going up. I'm like, okay, this is a little strong. Let me get some more out. And then I reloaded into the teeth of this nonsense, get stopped again, and then I'm like, well, something is a little weird here. And then it jammed from 63 all the way up to 65. Now, at the moment, I saw the news, I'm like, okay, that feels like a little bit too much. So in this it's kind of hard to see the wick. Like it wicked up, got above VWAP, kind of came back down, got back above. I got into it short here. And when it didn't break VWAP, I was like, maybe you just need to get out, Neil. Because it felt like this wasn't going back to the bottom. I got pretty aggressive getting out, which was probably the right decision. And now we're going to the upside. Now this bet that we have, which quite frankly, I just got coin at 70. I can't believe coin's at 70. This bet that we have on will it turn green for the day, well, it's now clearing that 65. It closed at 264.60. We might have to close that one a little bit early. Because if it's still above 266 and we're at like 245, getting close to power hour, it'll be pretty obvious.
I don't know. I mean, the market could tank in the close.
Okay, I mean, we'll leave it open a little bit longer.
I haven't bet it yet, so
it's a little bit intense. Like, NVIDIA is an absolute powerhouse at this point. It's dragging the market up with it. There's some weak chip names out there. Like, I want to say, let me just double check. Before I finish this sentence, I should double check. Yeah, like Intel, which, is that going to get dragged up by NVIDIA
I mean,
news?
I'm in
Probably
AMD,
not.
which is red.
Like lower highs all the way through an Intel. You're in AMD, so I'll let you talk about that one. Like I almost feel if I want to fade something and everything's getting dragged to the upside, what's holding and shorting every single pop? I mean, Intel's given you that, and it's not done anything crazy just yet. So this, I don't know if I'd be fading NVIDIA here. If anything, longs off 265. But Intel short feels pretty solid, given that it's not moving on this. Like the market's still grinding higher. Second I see signs of a turn, I'm probably going to go short Intel.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. Apple's hanging out up here too long. I think we're gonna get stopped out of Apple, guys. Apple did come back. We took a little bit out. We took about 20% out at 85 for flat because that's where we're short, we're short, yeah. And it's hanging out a little bit too much right here. I thought we could touch 165, which we're doing, and then retrace back down. But you can see the futures also saying no, thank you to that kind of a thought as well. All right, so AMD. I should be up a lot more on AMD than I am, but the thing is that I was talking with Fahad about this one. The thing is, man, I got to secure Fahad's skills in many different areas because, just like LeBron James took his talents to South Beach, I don't need Fahad taking his talents to Adobe head office here.
LeBronto.
Or LeBronto. He's got a little conspiracy here that his boy's coming over to Toronto when we get. What do we have to call it? I know it's Brawny.
Brawny, yeah.
It's like we need to have because if it's LeBronto, it can't be LeBron-y. Like it has to be.
No, that doesn't.
Yeah. Brompton. Yeah, Brompton. That's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. It's not great. I mean, a lot of people don't know about Brampton. So.
And I also don't think they'll live there either when they come. So if they come.
He ain't living in Brampton.
First of all, so it'll have nothing to do with it. Like I'm saying, it has nothing to do with the Toronto. First of all, LeBron's not coming. Why are we even talking about
there
this?
There goes Apple.
LeBron is not coming to Toronto. Let's just.
Well, according to Fahad.
Why are we dignifying this? This market is.
It's off right now. Yeah.
She'd be
nice
screaming.
It's a nice move up. I might just, anyways, AMD, what the issue was here, let's just go over this quickly. What the issue here, and we just got stopped out of Apple, which sucks. I should have punched long, as Apple's now going back up. Yeah, you guys are right, man. What's up, Scott H? We're going to look at Amazon and other things. But anyways, AMD downside rating review up. Who cares? I got to trade this. So, all right. What else do you want to talk about? Boeing? Nah, forget it. Let's go into the market. You want to talk about Boeing?
No, you guys saw. Look, Boeing was down. It bounced, and it's probably down a little bit more now.
All right, Sharif's going to get mad. All right, back to Sharif. We'll talk about Boeing, and then we'll start trading.
Hey, oh. Randy and I talking about Teslas. You know I can't help that conversation. All right, guys, last topic here on the rundown. We've got Boeing blues. Yeah, it's been a tough road to hoe for Boeing. Another delivery problem. They are going to have issues with the 737 MAX airplanes as a result of a part component with Spirit Aerosystems. Look at this gap on the chart here, guys. We were hanging out at 213. You woke up and you found that Boeing actually broke 200 after the bell. Not good for Boeing long-term holders. Anything left on this one, guys?
Nah, because your chance to have reversed it long at 200, it came and went. You could have done it in the morning, and you could have done it here at 1 o'clock. It's a 201, man. You know, we basically only shorted it when it got below 200. It was like 1, 2, and we're loading in, and then it got to the bottom at 198, and then the third time was not a charm. It stopped out there, and it's been a long since. Like, since it got back above 200, it's just been a long to the high, bounce off VWAP, bounce off 200, briefly broke, and then it's still long. So sometimes the thing gaps to the downside. It's like Lucid, right? Like, it gaps to the downside. It's so far down that, yeah, there's a short, but quite frankly, it's not going to be a huge one. $2 on Boeing is okay. It's just not. I thought there was room to 194 on Boeing. It didn't happen. I got to worry about Coinbase here. You know, Coinbase at 70 has been a bit of a thing, at least for myself. In the afternoon yesterday, so Coinbase, look at the chart on Coinbase. 72 top 2 days in a row, but not quite 72. Yesterday, the lower high was at 70.40. So I'm kind of looking in the same range here, and then it's got the same bottom down at 68. Every now and then, history repeats itself, or at least rhymes. Hope is the wrong word, because if you're saying hope, maybe you shouldn't trade it. But I would look to see if the same level holds up in the same regard. I had the 69 short off down here. It was working, and then everything kind of went fugazi. You guys saw it happen in the market, so that didn't work out. So I'm waiting till it gets to 70 to put on the short. But I do feel like it's not wrong till it gets to 70.40. So I'll be pretty hesitant to add to this unless I'm getting fills above that 70 level. Alphabet, by the way, I'm trying to get.
I should be trading.
Yeah, I tried to get more on the. I'm not going to get this 8. So I tried to get this dip into 8. I can cancel my 107.60 as well. And if I can get anything down closer to the 108, I think you just buy the dip. It's been so easily giving you the VWAP in here that I felt like we'd be able to get the dip into 108. This is off to the races. 109's resistance. I'll get some out there. That's the long I want. So I like coin short here to 70.40, but I like Google long, and I definitely want to buy some more of that. If the market goes back into green in the NASDAQ, Alphabet should see 109.
Yeah, that Alphabet trade. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. We were short Boeing back and forth. Didn't really do too much damage on it. Didn't really suffer anything. But the same kind of trade. I don't really want it unless it's sub $200. We can watch that again. But I mean, to be long Google and then watch it do this, like when we just got out when it broke 107 something down there, was kind of ridiculous. The reason why we got out again, it just goes back to yesterday's close. Wasn't comfortable holding it against. Thought we could sort of retest some of these bottoms that we were already in the pre-market. Didn't happen. Google stays strong, and I love trading Google. I mean, it's one of the stocks I look at every single day, obviously, as you guys know, those of you who watch the show. And it's sad because, we had a lot of shares down there, and it's fine. It's not a disaster for us today by any stretch of the imagination, but it should be a huge winner. And it's not. So unfortunately, that is what it is. We're still happy though, man. We got, the number one stock for me is Meta, and that's obviously ripping to the upside right now as well as the market just takes back off. And what I want to do is, like right now you're at this 1370. I went long Apple against this 13, basically back to the 50 period. We're already, this is the NASDAQ, but we're already long right now. We were short Apple. We saw that didn't work. So I just put the long back on. It's not like a revenge trade by any stretch of the imagination. Let me go back into Apple right now. We're long at 11s. It just, there it is. So that's, okay. You see what I'm saying? Look at this move on Apple. What the hell just happened right now? I don't know what's going on, but that's a nice move right there to the upside for Apple. Okay, Apple, I see you. Nice. Wow, okay. We're just long, so there it is. We're just long 11s there. We just got the majority of them out actually in the 40s and in the 50s. So that just blew up right there, Apple. So I don't know what that was about, but there, see, look at that. Look at that come right back in right now. Okay, I'll reload it small because I don't understand what's happening. We just got a huge move up there in Apple. I mean, maybe there was some sort of a story there as I'm looking around. Sharif just ran back over here, so he doesn't have anything right now. But that was a nice move, and look where Apple just stopped. Yeah, it's okay. Take your time.
Yeah,
man.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Right there, 165.40s. So it just came right back into that area and completely stopped. But I just multiple outs, man. My best out there is 42, and it just comes right back down there. So it's probably
testing new Macs with processors that are on par with.
Okay. Apple testing new MacBooks that have new processors that are on par with M2 chips. So, all right, that makes sense. You know, you're going to get these moves from Apple. I still think that NVIDIA, Apple, Intel, AMD, this is the kind of headline risk that all of these guys have, right? Yeah. We know Apple's developing their own chips. So they were all over Qualcomm and things like that. I know this is sort of a different thing, but we've seen Qualcomm move around on chip news. So I don't know who they're using. I don't think they're using Intel right now in their MacBooks. I think they're just using their own. So yeah, it's not really going to affect anybody.
It ain't Intel.
What?
It ain't Intel.
No. Well, I think it was. But,
like that was one of the bigger defeats. My dad and I were talking about this at dinner. That one of their bigger defeats was Intel sort of losing all their big clients and getting their lunch eat. What's crazy about Intel is they managed to lose market share in pretty much every single segment. They got beat up by somebody, which is pretty amazing. And that's a dump on Intel. It came.
Well, that sounds like what you are kind of doing.
Okay.
But I mean, they cut their dividend. Okay, the thing is,
and they cut the dividend, which is a good thing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good thing.
They started to restructure some of that.
Yeah, because if you're getting beat up, like you fall behind the 8 ball, and all of your competitors are focusing on growth and getting better and improving their products, and you're out there paying a big dividend and losing share. At some point, you got to focus on growth too, and you can't be sitting there paying that dividend when everyone else is reinvesting in it. And I own Intel long term, so when I sit there, I'm just speaking what I think to be the truth on the stock, and not necessarily anything else. But so I'm not sitting here trying to dump on the stock. I'm sitting there owning it. So anyways, Coinbase, well, okay, it didn't really flush, but it came back in. It came back into VWAP. We got a couple of legs out there. Let's see where it does go. I'm going to, it's either 267 or give it a couple more minutes, and let's just close the betting on NVIDIA. I mean, it almost got $2 away. It's $2 above almost where it closed. So the whole green bet, we can't really leave that to 3 o'clock. So I'll give it a little bit there if people want to get their bets in. I don't mind if you get some free points in there for it if you think it's going to be a long, but it does get out of hand at some point. Alphabet, if we can catch some, yeah, we're starting to come back in. If this one dips, I like it to 108. So I'm going to start dip buying this at 108. There was a question several times in the chat about Tesla and 190. I simply replied, Tesla getting to 190 seems a little bit aggressive today. I was trying to be at least a little bit reasonable about that. I think it is definitely the next big resistance level is that 190, and everything else has been diddling in them. Actually, that's not true. Look at 186. Like, why 186 and a half is in the way too, but 190 is that big price area. So I don't think it gets there. Let's just leave it at that. Huh?
I don't know. Does Randy want to talk about Teslas? Yeah, he doesn't have a mic yet. Okay, he's not going to come on. Okay, so I think Tesla can get to 190, but obviously it's going to have to be news related. I don't think the market's going to go anywhere. Well, it's going to go, but I don't think it's going to go that high. What do we think? What's up to Ian? What do we think of Schwab going into earnings? I mean, the thing about the bank stocks on Monday, what do you have seen or heard, read so far? Miss or beat? You know, So I'm going to say beat, but that doesn't mean the stock's going to go up. You know, we saw today, Wells Fargo, I thought, posted a great number, and I even said this earlier on in the morning show. Thank you again for the super chat, Ian. I said in the morning show here about WFC that I thought it was a great quarter, but again, me looking over loan provisions and you know what their debt ratios and cash on hand and all this kind of stuff, that's like way above my pay grade. I don't know enough about the banks. I mean, there's definitely analysts and traders that know everything and looking for specific things to hit. And honestly, I think Schwab's going to just fall right into that line there. But I thought this could hold yesterday's bottom there, yesterday's close, and it was all the way up to 41.50 in the pre-market, looking great, and then it just gave back. Like, we were up 4%, you know, and then at some point, say you were down about 1%, so it had a 5% swing intraday, right? So if we're going to look at Schwab right here again,
it's on the lows.
CHW.
Let the chart do the talking.
That's what I was going to say is this is already broken below, from what I know. It's still, yeah, I mean, it's right here right now, you know. This is what I mean about it, why it could beat, because you know, if it's depressed so much based on earnings, then you know, who knows where we're going to go now after this. So I would, you know, if you're throwing darts, I would go short. I mean, I just think the better bet is short. You know, we saw JP Morgan's ripping today, right? It's still, we talked about, well, actually it's come back in right now, but it was just at its highs, 139, and what a great quarter, you know, but what JP Morgan's able to do is not going to be the same as what Schwab or First Republic or all that. Yeah. So I would just say be very, very cautious. You know, you're going to have opportunities, even though, you know, JP Morgan's up today, it's never really pulled back. So, you know, we can look at Citigroup and the other banks as well. These regionals and independent banks like a Schwab, and we don't have that here in Canada, these banks, but I don't know, I'm a little nervous about it. Citigroup's actually held highs as well, and actually starting to go back to the upside. So I think it's a mixed bag, Ian. Like I'm
not going to add anything to that.
I don't know,
because it's like you said, there, but if you have everything else holding bids and responding pretty well out of the banks that we got so far, and the market's reacting by selling Schwab off, well, sometimes take a bit of a hint on that, and like maybe let that be your indicator. Like when you're trading, you kind of just want to work off price action, and you know, you don't need to necessarily explain fundamentally why a move is going to happen in the short term. Like that's, you know, like leave the why for those that are, you know, market analysts and that kind of a thing. Like we're just here to look for price action a lot of times, and every now and then fundamentals can come into a play, or it's like a reason to believe in something. Like Rivian, bad news and a technical breakdown. I mean, okay, you want to go short there, but yeah, I'm not predicting anything when it comes to the banks, except for, typically speaking, you know, you can usually use how Goldman did to see how Morgan Stanley is going to do. Every now and then that ends up being true. I did get a new position on here. I don't have that button, but it's in Intel. I said if the market slowed down, I would look to take Intel and kind of series of lower highs here. I should do this more often. We just draw a very lazy trend line in there, kind of series lower highs, kind of turns where you might expect it to if you're drawing this kind of a trend line as the market is trying to get through. And when I say the market, I mean the NASDAQ. Apologies for everyone who looks at the S&P 500, but this is the NASDAQ. This is 13,165. Was it Steve G? Was it you in the chat, Steve, that was talking about 13,165? It might have been somebody else, but if it was Steve, then shout out to you. You got there, rejected, NASDAQ gets to the same level, turns around. I just said I like Coinbase short. Intel's a weak chip name today, so let's get that one short if we're going to make a turnaround. Coinbase we're already in, Intel we just got into. So Google's still strong and not even giving me a dip buy. So like definitely we like Google for longs. I guess you could have had 20s in there. I was waiting for 10s. Not aggressive enough in Alphabet. It was giving you anything you wanted, even underneath VWAP if you wanted it earlier, but it doesn't even want to dip back down into 108.
I'm like, Apple doesn't want to go here, man. And it's like, it's really struggling as the NASDAQ comes right back up to the upside here. And I can't even get back to sort of flat here with Apple as our average price is 99. So I'm just going to put like a 97 and hope that I can get out 20%. Okay, there it is, okay. So I did get out at 20% there at 97. My average price 99. Happy with doing that. I'm not. you know, we want this to go upside. Like, what was up with that move? This is what I'm holding out hope for, is that we could get back upside right now off that news there that was brought to us. I don't even really see it on any major news sources here. Oh, here it is. Actually, I just saw it right now, 7 minutes ago. Apple's making headway on new Macs following sales slump. Yeah, so... Yep, you got it. That's all good. Yeah, I got it there. So thanks for that one. Right there. So Sharif filling in for Brendo here this afternoon and running around and trading and doing everything. So thanks, Sharif. No, but thanks for all that, man. I mean,
he is running back and forth.
That's how he stays in such good shape, you know, back and forth.
Just don't trip on anything, dude.
That's the next thing. If you hear a quadunk,
then that's not good.
That might be a human quadunk.
No, but in all seriousness, like,
yo, stop coming back here, bro.
No, the cables for those like the big PED cameras that they have up there, like, they're really easy to slip on. Like, I've almost twisted an ankle a couple times. I'm just saying, like, be careful.
The good thing is Randy's right there. He's also a doctor.
I know, but he's running from the desk and back to his trading desk and running back to Brendan's desk. Like, I mean, shout out to Sharif, man. Like, he's putting in work. So you know what? If he's gonna put work in like that, make sure you.
Hola.
Where's
like and
Kat?
subscribe today.
Is Kat here today?
He's gone back and forth like 2 more times since we started talking about it. Oh man, it's almost unfair. So I was about to talk about something else. It was okay. So we can't keep the betting open on Nvidia. I know you want it. We'll come up with something else, maybe, if you can think of something for the close. It's just I said I would do it.
Here, man.
It could fall. But at some point, like, what are you going to do? Like, we always close these ones if it's going to be at the close by about 3 o'clock. But this one just really extended. It's trending to the upside. I don't know. Like, there's no science to it. I just kind of think it's being fair. And you know what? If you're pissed off, just get pissed off at me. Like, I made a judgment call when it was up at 67. So let's just close the betting on this thing because it's super strong.
Dude, no one's pissed off, dude. This is a very.
They want the free points because I think everyone thinks it's free points.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, like, it's Streamlabs. Like, let's not take this too.
No, it's not a big deal. It's all
no, not to you, just to everybody else.
If you're hating on it, just challenge me to a duel.
Yeah, exactly.
And see what's up.
See what's up with that. Okay, so looks like that out. I mean, I'm keep harping on the same stock. I'm gonna talk to you guys. What's up, Harrison? The Apple out is 164.80, just right here at the 50 period. I don't really want to mess with this. We started to go short. We lost on the short. Then we hit the long. We won on that long. And now we're finding ourselves back into the long right now, just against the same level. There's really, the problem is if we get a flush in the market here, like, I don't want to hold Apple back to 60, back to 50, back to 40. Like, if it's going to go down, man, it's going to go down. So that's... You know, that's my sort of take, and I know that's like, if it goes down, it goes down, but you don't want to be in Apple. It's just like you don't want to be in Meta when it's flushing, unless you're short, yada, yada, yada. We're only here at 97, right? That's my position. It's 93 now. I'm not going to, like, go crazy over it. I'm going to put another out at 95 for another 10%. I'm just trying to get a little bit out so that if we do flush, I don't have too many shares left. But you know what? Forget about that. We're already, I'm going to let this go. Hopefully this can go back up to the upside. We're flat on the trade right now. I'm not going to get out of it because we're a little scared right now about Apple. But it has taken some money away from us today, for sure. Not much, but we haven't necessarily been hitting this one out of the park. Sharif, tell me there's some good news about Apple or something.
Not about Apple, Sean. I'm sorry, but I'll keep looking on. I'll keep my eye on that. But CNSP, again, halt central. This one actually started trading like a regular stock. That is until now, guys. Halted to the upside for the second time here at 214.
So another halt. Intel's starting to go against me. It's not that bad. It's like 3 cents against me. But what Randy was talking about when we were doing the EV section was apparently another Ford recall. But he said it's old
Randy.
news. So I thought there was something he had to add about Tesla. Randy is a bit of an expert when it comes to the automotive sector in general, but also when it comes to EVs. He really knows his stuff. So if he had something to say about Tesla, we'd want to hear it. He knows how to wear jorts. But Ford, there's nothing happening and it's not moving. So nothing to see there. I'm going to reload Coinbase, but I don't need that. Okay, what do I have? I literally I never use the NYSE gateway. That's weird, but I had an order up there. I guess when I was trying to get more short, I put it on NYSE gateway on the NASDAQ stock.
That fills.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, you didn't get filled?
No, I don't. I never use that gateway. So,
but did it fill you?
No, it didn't fill.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really matter.
There's liquidity there. I'm not trying to say there's great liquidity.
No, but basically it's a gateway that nobody uses on the NASDAQ.
Right.
It's the NYSE gateway, and then maybe that's why I didn't get filled. But I want to reload on Coinbase is what I'm getting at. The question is, I'm deciding whether I want to short a lower high because the market the NASDAQ still
Go
kind of trying to
NASDAQ.
break. Like if it breaks out here, I probably don't want to be aggressively shorting away from that 70 level. And it feels like we're breaking out. Like I cannot get any more shares of, Google. I'll accept that in a quick second. I just want to finish this here. And the other thing too is Tesla might be getting toward that high for the breakout 186. 186 breakout's pretty enticing as well for Tesla. See, this is exactly why we closed the NVIDIA bet. You can't have that open. It's going to break 267 itself. My Intel's probably in the dust. I need something else to the long side. I want Tesla to be a breakout trade. Maybe I just want it off 185. If we break out on the futures, I need something that's not just Alphabet to the upside. I know coin I still like short. Intel hasn't stopped me yet. Tesla looks okay, but not great at this particular point. AMD, the chip names no, but it wasn't AMD. Oh, AMD's it's got some strength. Intel's weaker than AMD. Maybe breaking VWAP on AMD. Let me have a deeper look at this on the 15-minute and then kind of decide about AMD. Ooh, decent bottom bounce off 90. That looks pretty solid. Double bottom needs to clear. This isn't bad. Like 91.75. Am I talking myself into this if it can break out? But the futures have to go too. Like I want us closing on my 15-minute. I want us closing above that the 10-15
Where are you
lower high.
AMD?
I'll be like 91.70, above
Yeah,
91.75.
right. Yeah.
But here's the thing, I was just saying, I want us closing above this. Like, where's our close above this resistance level? If that happens, the longs look a heck of a lot better than trying to go long something as we're testing resistance. I don't know, man. I
have the same level marked off, so that's, I mean, it's VWAP, it's pretty obvious.
It's right
I'm still
level,
short
yeah.
AMD. It was $1.50 in the money. It's come all the way back. We only have 10% left, but I just want to make sure we had the same levels. That's all. So, all right. I mean, it's pretty obvious there. Neil and I, same charts.
Yeah,
sit right beside each other looking at VWAP. So that's a pretty easy one. We did get out of some more Apple. Unfortunately, it just kept going to O's and stopping
VWAP,
again.
what's it called?
Like, I don't want to get this out, but like, there's more outs. Like, we got a decent fill at 90 at least, which gave us that average price of 95. You guys were, or 97, I think it was, that we were talking about. So just getting it back out to flat. I still have 2/3. I mean, I would really, really love to get this going. Let's look at something else. And if Amazon, sorry, I was just going to look at Amazon, but if Apple goes, then Apple goes. The only red stock that we have with any real conviction on the red side is Amazon today. And it's just, we don't even have that many trades. It's just was using a little bit too many shares here. Tried to go short. Actually, first we went long, then we tried to go short, thinking that the market was a short. We saw the market blow up to the upside, and then Amazon just took out all the levels. Like, you know, I was really trying to think that this 102.60 level there was a good break long. It turns out that it really wasn't a good break long there at all. Well, it was. That's the only spot that we actually made money. There goes Apple. Apple just dropped out, so that's fine. Like I said, we lose on the last 2/3 of that, 15 cents on Apple. That sucks. But again, you know, Amazon, I'm thinking that this is again at some of these levels, but it's just green today on the market. So I don't think this is necessarily a name that we want to be in right now, and that's going to be Amazon. So we'll leave it alone. If anything, I'm thinking about just shorting more AMD right now just because of where we're going on that. So this is something that I'm looking at right now again, is just shorting more AMD against this level.
So there's one that, you know what, I kind of
shorted more.
I like a short on Meta right now. It got to 221, which was, if you remember yesterday in the afternoon, well, I mean, what else would I be talking about? Because that's the only time it was up here. That was pretty much the high, was at 221. 70s. And then you have like a couple of lower highs failing at 222, then at 221.30. So if we're failing this level right now on the NASDAQ, which, you know, we just made a little bit of a turnaround, I like Meta because it gives you room in a VWAP. I think it probably holds, has a decent chance of holding 220 even. And I'm already in Intel, I'm already in Coinbase. I didn't add to Coinbase, but we do have that. So, you know, I'm just kind of, as I'm talking, I'm just literally accepting every single duel as it goes in. I don't even see how many points you guys have challenged me if I'm winning or losing. But Meta, we just grabbed that short. I'm going to get some halfway, some out in front of VWAP. If you don't have orders out there, you're not going to get filled. So if we do make a bit of a turn and a flush, and this is what we're getting at here, if we can't break this out, well, you should be looking for shorts, no? Like you're day trading, it's almost power hour here. So if we're gonna make any kind of a retracement, you wanna capture some of that move. And if we hold above, we close above, you know, 130, 170 on the NASDAQ, then I think the longs into the close are fantastic. Now there's obviously one notable exception. You know, Alphabet, for whatever reason, every single dip, I'm missing every single dip, and it continues to go higher. And it's almost at target, by the way. So maybe I want to be out of, it's weird to say, but 109 is kind of like where we want out of this thing. And it's getting pretty darn close as the market's turning around. So my gut is telling me you can always get a dip. I'm just going to put a trailing stop on. That's, when in doubt, put a trailing stop on if that's what I'm feeling. So I'm going to trail this one. If it continues to run and we get actually 109, then we'll just wait till 109. But I have a trailing stop in here right now because the market feels like it's turning. So we'll get that in. If the short ends up being wrong off this level, so be it. But, you know, at this time of day, you're looking for shorter duration trades, I do find.
I'm just getting my orders set up here because, like, as if Apple's now back up 5 cents. Like, it's just, I'm starting to hate Power Hour as this continues to go.
It's not there yet.
Back and forth right now. I know, it's just the market doesn't want to do anything. It's not even Power Hour yet, but, you know, just heading into the close, like, this is hard to make money. Like, that's why I'm so glad that we were able to make money the first time when Apple did that there, because, you know, then it just dropped down and we got out at 85. You know, it goes to 71. You know, and then just bounces right back up. Like, what are we even doing here? So I don't, you know, we're just going to watch out for the NASDAQ. Hopefully that's enough. We did take a little bit more shares here on AMD, giving us an average price of right now. So I'm just going to wait. The next trade that comes up here is going to be a fill at 60 for the short, and then we have breakout there if it goes back up to the upside. Generally speaking, when you see the market like this, it's not, you know, especially into the close, we're still bouncing off of that retracement high right now. So you're going to have to take that out, which probably gets me, I mean, we're about to get short AMD anyways right now against that level. So hopefully we'll get that coming in. But it's this high that we really need to break. So let's see if that happens. Yeah, just frustrating because there goes Apple. Like now Apple's, it's just the frustration continues, man. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. It's like, there it is. Like, it just comes right back up. Like, we were long at 95, 96, got out at 80. It was only a 15-cent hit, but just frustrating because then it comes right back up, right? And so that's unfortunately what we have to do right now is deal with these stocks and the way they're moving. So nice move to the downside right there for Apple, and then a nice retracement back up. Okay, we are now officially loaded on AMD right now. So there it is, man. We've got all of the positions that we need right now. We're going to go short on AMD. It's weak against the market right now. It's making that move. Let's see what the market wants to do. So I'm short AMD. If we get stopped out on this one, then we get stopped out on this one. I'm happy with this trade, and I don't think that I'm making a mistake here at all. Nicely calmed down. We got the price we wanted. We just got 60s. Now let's see if the market wants to give us a winner that we think. So if our out's going to be, we're short right now at 57, and our out's going to be like 72, 73. So that's about 15 cents. So let's get this thing into the 40s before we even start thinking about taking some out.
Yeah, and I know there's some other names moving out there. It was brought to our attention, at least. I know everyone's looking at this stock here, this CNSP. It's a haul fest. As far as day trading goes, a lot of times the stock can have so little liquidity, especially when certain things happen, that it's not really tradable. I think when you do trade these things, either you're getting it when it's calmed down and there's liquidity at like 150 or down at $1. It's just up here, halted at 266 with a 265 tap, and this is like the umpteenth halt of the day. I'm not going to go to the halt page to count them. It's just a lot. This is probably not the last halt it's going to have today. It just keeps on halting and halting and halting. And it's got $3 and about 25 cents, I'd say, is where you start running into some serious resistance on the daily chart there since it's a reverse split. So that's CNSP. It is absolutely intense. Please look at MBLY chart. We never talk about Mobileye, but every time I see it in there, I just... There was a point last year where every single IPO, if you bought it at the IPO open, you felt like a sucker and you should just wait for the dip. And I wanted to buy Mobileye, but I was like, I'm not falling for that. I'm just gonna not buy it. I'm gonna wait for it to dip down, and I'm gonna start picking this up when it breaks 20 bucks, and I'll just start dollar cost averaging in, and I'll be laughing. And then I never got into Mobileye. And Mobileye is such a strong stock, and it's an absolute beast. So, you know, I'm kind of waiting for, what I've been doing is I've been personally waiting for it to kind of hold beneath the 50 period, start breaking down, and then I'll dollar cost average when it breaks in support. The first time it does it, right now that's 37. I'll be trying to pick this one up when it gets beneath that price, and, you know, like every quarter or so, just if it does. I mean, now that I'm saying all this, you know it's not going to give me those fills. I'll just never own the stock, and you'll hear me complain about it every now and then. Oh, you're saying go short, shares releasing soon? Good. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I want an opportunity to get in the sucker, but I want it breaking down. I just don't want this. I don't want to be paying these prices for it. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Someone said look into it, so we'll pull the chart up. I'll let you know if anything happens in that small capper that's halting, but I won't trade it. I doubt you're going to trade it either, Sean. It's not even liquid. Like the other ones, like the GFAIs of the world, and what else were we trading this morning? SAI, they're actually even more liquid than that name. So I kind of stay away from them. But great job on the midday for those guys to track them. I'm looking for an addition here into Meta. I thought we'd get something above 221 into like 221.20. If I'm going off that higher low there, I wasn't able to get it. Now it looks like I'm going to have to pay down to underneath 221. So I just added, it's essentially not really much of a difference in the price that I had before, but I was waiting for it to test higher. Now I'm into it. I'll give it to that high. I still have my Intel. Alphabet still, I have a trailing stop in there, but it's still kind of going. It really feels like this is turning on Google here, but I got my trail in. I'm not really going to move it or anything. Once it pulls back like 15 pennies, I'll be out, or it's going to hit 109 and I'll be out either way.
If you want something to turn, you want it to go up or down? I'll just go the other way.
Which one? I want Meta to go down.
Okay, so I need to go long. So I need to go long it. Yeah, no. We'll
it's a day trade.
We're just playing around. I'm just thinking right now.
I have shares of Meta too long term. I don't want it to go down. You know what I mean?
Meta?
No, but it's because if you even say Meta go down, Shreef's like, no. I know. Look, you know how much you're in the money right now?
Bunch of drama queens around here. Okay, so let's just, yeah, I mean, you know, like if Meta goes down $2 now, I'd be happy with that. All right, so let's go, and I'm long a hell of a lot of Meta as well. All right, like what I was saying, I just messaged my wife, Marissa. I was like, I need a drink, like ASAP, because like I'm watching Apple. We're short. It's a good thing that we're short AMD now, so I don't have to too much worry about this. But although AMD's not going down that much, Apple comes all the way back up to like where we could have banked it. Nah, that's a pain in the butt right there. All right, like as if, okay, I just took a 49 fill. Didn't really want to do it, but I did it anyways there on AMD, and it's just like, let's go down, like bring this down, man. I told you that we weren't bidding anything until 40s, so what I'm bidding is 42 right now for a decent position size. So like I said, man, if we can get 13, 14 cents, that's the risk to the upside into the 70s. We'll take that shot and see if it can pan out for us. But I don't know, it's not, they're like, look, what, you don't want to break 48, like the magical number of 91.48 there? Like hopefully this can come in, we'll have this for the close, and then that should be the trade that I'm looking for. So
this is Ponzi Fonzie. It's Friday.
Yes.
165.
What does that mean?
No, Apple 165. Like think about, you probably have a lot outstanding at that 165, which is, you know, obviously going to expire today. And if you look at it on the daily chart,
it's 302 though.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity on there. Yeah, it is 302, but you're right. But I'm saying it's got some gravity toward that level. And every now and then, as a day trader, you get some tunnel vision and forget things like that. That's why someone was asking about Tesla 190. That's why you said Tesla 190, because you really wanted to go there, I'm guessing.
Well, if you have call options at Tesla 190, those aren't going to print. I mean.
No, but well, I know, but that's probably why we got the question.
Oh yeah, it could be. I mean, what I meant, I didn't mean to throw shade at Ponzi Fonzie or anybody there, but it's like right now there's still so much time left. I mean, we've seen the NASDAQ move 1%, 2% in the last hour alone, you know, like, so I really feel like there's a lot more movement here to come one way or the other here today. I don't feel like we're anywhere even near being done for right now. So, okay, it's now we're at 45, so I'll take some more out here if we can get it at 45. I'm on a paid gateway, so it's gonna have to go all the way through. There we go, so it's gonna have to go through to get it. There it is. I actually canceled my 42, so we'll punch out some at 39 there. Here we go. Let's go, man. Like this is the trade for me right now. We told you we loaded it up. I mean, I was a little bit frustrated, obviously, with the movement in the markets. I'm not trying to, you know, lose my day here on one or two bad calls by any stretch of the imagination. But this ain't a bad call. This one right here is putting me back into my comfort zone right now, and just going to try to cash some more out as we fall down. Cash me outside. You guys know where that's from. But
how about that?
We're going to see about that right now. into 91.34. We just took some out right down there. I still think 91.10 is happening, 91.20 and change as we go back into the downside. I just want to make it, I just want to go a little light here just real quick because I'm already short on AMD. I posted something here today on my Twitter, and I just think it's like we have 15 responses, and it's pretty cool. There's a great quote here. As traders, and I'm just thinking about this because it's what's going through my mind right now. We get caught up in the excitement of the markets, right? It's like it's exciting to be sitting here trading every single day, you know. But at the same time, we cannot let our emotions drive our decisions, right? And I think that that's something that you really have to be careful about what you're doing, right? It's emotional discipline. Intelligence were the key. There would be a lot more people making money trading, right? It's just, you got to be disciplined. It's not the smartest person in the room can trade the best. It's all that. It's everything all combined up. So I put this out. It's a pretty cool graphic right there. And then I've been reading a lot of the responses that some of you had. Right? That's funny. Jerry Curl, this is going from Coming to America. Smoke the World says, buy the dip, follow the drip. We know,
right.
that's hilarious. The trend is your friend, so a lot of people learning a lot from you and I here, and that's what's been good. Jesse Livermore, I've responded to this. Reminiscence of a stock operator, fantastic, man. And this to me is what the key is right here, right? Do more of what works for you, you know, and do less of what doesn't. So if you're finding yourself, and I'll put that tweet, Bears vs. Bulls probably has it. I'll put it in the chat again here right now so you guys can go put it. So I want to read these things because I feel like, although you can read books and everything, and that's great, but I mean, we have people in our chat right now that can write books themselves, probably. So you know,
I would agree.
Anything that you guys want to say to that?
I want to add one thing.
Please share. Yeah, you share. Yeah.
One thing you just said there was one of the quotes. I mean, there was a few there, but one of them was do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And I am not making this up. Every single trader who has graduated in the last, I want to say, few years off of this floor, when they have their kind of like exit congratulations, graduation talk, I'll sit down with them. I've said the same thing every single time. The number one reason why traders who graduate on this floor and day trade the world into full-time traders, the number one reason why the ones that fail and fail immediately, and I mean like from the time they graduate, they go right into a hole, and it happens sometimes, is they...
Just sometimes.
No, but seriously, what they first do is they get more risk, and they start risking more on everything. Instead of just whatever you made money on graduating, that's probably the only thing you should scale up on. And if it's like one gimmick trade, then that's the only thing you should scale up on. It's that simple. Do more of what works. Yep. It always creates people getting into a hole because you say, well, I can risk 10 times as much now. Let's just go ham on everything. Let's go 10 times more on everything. It doesn't work that way. Risk more on what works, man. And at the time, I wanted to be trading Cisco. I told the story before, and Oracle, all that nonsense. But I graduated trading small cap stocks. So what did I leverage up on my first month next? Small cap stocks. I put 3 or 4 times more risk on the crap that worked. Not trying to just be whatever or be cool.
Worked.
What worked? I said crap. Stuff that worked. But it was small cap. You know I was trading penny stocks,
no,
so I can call them
crappers.
But they were crap
I think
stocks.
You're right.
Because like back in 2003, most of the penny stocks we were trading, like it was literally all the stuff that crashed from like 98.
Yeah, but it's the same crap now, right? All these AI stocks and all this stuff like that.
They were crappers.
But that's the point. Great point. I mean, that's what we're talking about right there, and that's why I want to thank everybody for putting their responses in there. I think we could do more, so we're going to try to do more of that stuff. Engage with you guys as viewers, and just so check it out. I have something on Instagram and all that kind of stuff as well. But all right, and I know Fahad, everybody, even Fahad, sitting here learning every single day, and not even being behind the keys, but listening to what we're saying and throwing
down. He's got
down.
The trader posture now. That's the worst part about it.
He came over here just during the intermission, and we were talking about my AMD trade. So
intermission.
What? Intermission for us, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
There's a midday show. I consider it like we have like the
that's
first
very
period.
Canadian because like you were at a hockey game last night.
I still have a headache.
And it's playoff hockey right
ringing
now.
Those stupid bells. We had those
you're calling it
cowbells. So like the first period is us. The second period is the midday show. And then we're here in the third period. We close it out. And hopefully we can hold the fort with that. So anyways, during the midday show, he was coming through. So, all right. What's up, Daryl?
Two things. I did get some out of Meta just now. It got to the bottom end of this little tiny range. It's got 221 into 221.60, so 220.60. So the first 30 cents, we take a scalp trade. And we'll look at CNSP in a second.
I was just looking at Michael Noss is trying to show me something here by sending me a video. I asked him about that, and I'm not going to show you now because I don't have it set up, about that VWAP. So I'm just interested in getting that all set up and into the platform for myself there. So thanks, Michael Noss, for that. I will look at that after this show, or maybe if we get a second, I'll look at it now. All right, so the only position I'm in is AMD. We've just taken a couple out. We're now out of, I would say 35% or so of this, and no more bids. I have one more bid at this bottom of 30, and then we'll see about a fill much lower than that. I mean, if you're looking at AMD, and I'm just getting them all out here, I'm going to be one peed off dude if it comes back into 91.10s and stuff like that, and I don't have a significant piece on. So we're going to hold out for that and go over to the man, the myth, the legend. It's the man with the biggest arms around here besides Fahad's. It's Sharif.
So nobody can compare to Fahad. All right, heads up, guys. Janet Yellen on the mic making comments right now. Spoke about the supply chain neck getting resolved. Also, the possibility of a soft landing, as well as the United States on track to reduce inflation. I think she's on CNN.
Yay.
Never heard of that network.
Yay, Janet. Move the market. It's at 310 on Friday. Let's do it. CNSP just
so smart, Janet Yellen.
halted down, reopened, and is moving up again. So this is my CNSP report. I'm still not going to trade it. It is ridiculous. It probably has halted like 10 times today. And just for reference, if it halts in the last 15 minutes, I think it's the last 15 minutes on the NASDAQ stock, it could be 10. Don't expect it to open until 4 o'clock. So if you are trading this one, just be a little bit careful towards the end of the day. That's my best advice for you there, or just flat out, you don't have to trade it. And also, you never went broke taking profit. I just, see this, what just happened on Meta there? I'll zoom way in if that helps out. Meta I just got some out there as a pike down. It goes right up to 220, I mean, I don't know. My order is at 221.02.
Like how much are those? Because it's hard. Can everyone see the prices there?
So like this is 220. This is 220.65, and this is 221. But it got right up to 221, missed me by 2 cents, and then starts coming back in. I've been asking about the ability to like have the font on the side bigger at the price that it's at. But I mean that feature.
That plus halt bands getting worked on next version.
There's a couple. So basically, what happens at Day Trade the World is like office managers, traders ask their office manager. Office manager puts in a ticket for a feature request. So that is a feature request I would like. I mean, A would help you guys see better, but sometimes it's easier to read the chart if the current price is like 10 times the font or
maybe
like twice the
font.
Have
you looked at that? Maybe they fixed that.
You still
Display
can't.
title, chart.
Well,
title.
if you can, maybe in the newest version, but I don't think you can.
I think I'm in the newest version here. Hold on a second. Come to my screen. I'll show you what we're dealing with. All you have to do is right-click on here. Value. Yeah, see, like these labels here on the right, like we should be able to. We cannot adjust the font. Like if I go into font here and set font, it's not for this.
Oh no.
I mean, hold on a second. Let me just change this. What happens if I change it to 12? Yeah, no. So I don't even know what that did. So yeah, it doesn't seem like to do anything right there. By the way, meanwhile. Thought that we'd finally have some diamond hands upon us right now. And there it is right here. It's 50 cents, 40 cents now in the money for this AMD trade. And we put on shares. Like, you know, we said, screw you, Apple. And we went over to another spot. And look what Apple's been doing. Apple's just trying to like say, hey, Sean, come back over here so you could go short and lose and then go long and lose. And then we could be at the same price. And then you could get more frustrated. Or we can go right over to a name that we've absolutely crushed today with AMD. Look at this, Fahad. So you go AMD once, you go AMD twice, and it's boom goes a dynamite both times. So it's about, we say this all the time on the show, and honestly, man, I can't, Neil will all back this up. Everybody will back this up, and even though you guys trading out there, you'll back it up as well. You could have the best strategies in the world, but if you're on the wrong names, it's really not going to matter. You have to, it's just like that Rivian trade. You got to be on the right names and pick your direction, and then when it's moving, that's going to be the key, right? Like if I can sit there and call short on the market all that I want to, but if Apple's just going doot, then you're not going to get that reaction. It's just like when, and this another thing that I said to Fahad earlier today was that I said, which way do you think you should be going on Meta? Right? And then instantly.
Well, it depends on the price, but.
Oh, no, everything depends on the price. But it was like before the day even starts. That's sort of the purpose of the sticky note. Rivian short, Apple long, Boeing short, Amazon long. right? So there's all these things on here. Meta was a long. So you miss the long early, wait for it to pull back, find some areas, and go long again. Then when it breaks these areas, then you can start to go short. But look, the short was great, but then we got back into this area, broke higher, and the long was pretty easy until right now it's trying to figure itself out. So I just feel like you need to trade the right stock. And like if I did not move over, I'm going to take out another piece right now. Remember I said how upset I'd be if I was still, you know, if it came all the way back down? Remember I even picked the price. I was like, if we come back down to here, you know, I want to have some shares on to be able to get out. Well, we still have pretty much not the majority of the stock on, but we have 45% right now still of this on as it continues to crash down. So good trade there for AMD. We have AMD and Meta both booming today. So it's a good little close here on this trade for Advanced Micro Devices. It's all about stock selection.
It is, and it was a great long in Alphabet, but it's over now. It's over. It's gone. You had to ring the register. I told you guys I had a trailing stop in it, but the better longs were earlier, unless you had the breakout. I should have had that breakout. We tried adding to it there, but yeah, we're going to the downside. And once you're going to the downside, we reversed. Meta, this is actually a pretty good look off the 15-minute because it shows you why the 221 was a good level. It just came into the halves. I want to make sure I'm holding something because if we break 220 to the downside, isn't it hilarious that I closed the betting on that? Anyways. So to the downside on Meta, I'll get one more leg out there. Intel also started to roll over, so one short, two shorts. We got into Intel when the market turned. This was never strong. I don't think at any point today was this one a strong one. It's been weak all day, so we're ringing the register. The market continues to flush. I still have Coinbase as well to the short side, so 3 shorts. They're all printing, and even NVIDIA could close red on the day if it falls another 50 cents. But we have 45 minutes to go. It's not over just yet. But the shorts are definitely winning. The early afternoon returns, it's hilarious. I can open it back up, I suppose. I think I can do that. I think I can open it back up for like 15 minutes if people want to bet. But look at NVIDIA come back in here. My goodness. This could have ruined my day if I fought the short, because I was in the short when the news happened. Thank God I did not fight that one and actually bothered to check to see what the news was. If something happens, you're not sure what's up, check the news, and then don't make a trade till you understand what's happening, because if I had blindly not done that, I would have shorted 264 right in here and just got run over and lost $1 in like 25 seconds. But now we're good. Shorts are printing. Let's go.
Yeah, and you can see there the market does fail, and you see what the reaction to Apple is right there as it just fails pretty good to the downside. And of course, you know, look at this. First position was short, but we had that blow up there of the MacBook news. So like, no matter what, even if I don't take this out, like I got to get out if it rips up like that on news, right? So here comes Apple pulling back down, obviously looking back at it. Yeah, you know, the short would have been great there, but that's okay. We just take some more outs here now as we coming back in for AMD to the downside. That's a good break for the market, right? We talked about the market breaking lower, and you want to make sure that you're in some shorts in case that does come through. So there it is right there, AMD. Nice. Move to the downside. I want to give a big shout out, Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you so much. I asked people if you guys liked the rants that I have there, because someone was like, oh, Steve G was like, now let's rant about the likes, because apparently we don't have enough likes, and it's Friday, so I don't know if you had a rap planned or not, but if we don't get any likes.
We're not getting close.
We're not even getting close to that. Okay, so there it is. What's up, Chill Vibes? And I want to say thank you, Bears vs. Bulls. He loves the rants. I want to thank you to Sin Tweak right now. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for loving everything I do. Well, that's very nice of you. Please tell that to my wife. And then back and forth there. Likes, rant time. All right. Look, I'm not, if you don't want to hit the like button for me, at least do it for her. Whoops.
Hola. Like and subscribe today.
All right, I'm gonna message Kat right now to come out here, because hopefully she can come out, ring the bell. You guys will see her at 3:58, 3:59, 4 o'clock. Maybe her and Fahad can ring the bell again. Katrine, of course, works in our sales division, so I want to thank Katrine for all the hard work that she's been doing. But we will have her come through here and ring the bell. And I just look in here. What? Oh, this is the trade of the day from when? Oh, from today?
Huh?
Why? Oh, you know what? This must not have fast forwarded here. But we only have, wow, that was pretty ominous. I just went over here, 666 on the likes. Did you see that?
That's hilarious.
Right now.
Well,
this is just because I had to pause. I have to fast forward it. This is, you're saying, yeah, that's your shirt today, and it's Rivian's. Okay, all good. But right now, 670 on the likes.
My shirt's bluer than that.
It comes out differently on the screen, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very blue, your shirt. There's no doubt about that. But anyways, hit the like button, guys. 685? What? Okay.
That's horrible.
But that's. What do you say, horror awful?
Horror awful.
I like that. Yeah.
That's actually, Shaquille O'Neal coined that term. It's both horrible and awful. You know what's not horrible? Apparently longs on CNSP. It's about to halt at 301, up 340%.
Hola.
And still The undisputed, well, you know what? I was about to say it's still undisputed champion of the day in terms of percentage up, but there quite frankly might be another stock that's up 300%. The way these small caps have been going, there really might be something stronger than this one today. 340% halted for the 15th or 20th or a millionth time. Congratulations to anyone that's long this. I already declared like I'm not paying for shorts. I'm not trying to short it. There's an obvious level up there, but I'm not even going to try it because I don't even know what the liquidity is like. On a $3 stock, I fully expect the way this is trading, you're not shorting 325 with a 340 stop and thinking you're only losing 15 cents on this. You might darn well lose 2 times that. You don't want to lose 15% on a tight stop. That's not the way that I would want to trade this. Like to me, you might be risking 50 cents every time you get into it, which is crazy. That's like 20%. No, for a day trader, congrats if you got it and you're holding it, but the trades are where you can get it in a reasonable risk to reward, which is like down here, breakout, stop to there, and it goes to the high. Up here, it's like, what are you looking for? So congrats if you got it. No one everyone broke taking profit. We say it over and over again because it's just true.
Oh,
Back to like just a couple of trades that I'm still in because it is getting late in the day. Intel did not get to the low of the day. I have bids at the low and underneath it. If it breaks the bottom, I do want a piece of this. The market's not even at the low, but we get the early look on the imbalances in about 10 minutes or so. That can definitely change things. I want to note some strength in Meta. It got to VWAP and that 220 level. I did hold on to a piece, but that 220, it is a little something, and it just look at the strong move off 220. I'm going to go ahead and back away from just sitting on the offer.
Back up.
And then as it goes higher, I'll look to take it if I see some weakness in it up there. To me, that's not an automatic reload when it looks that strong. Take advantage of the fact that you won. You don't have to get back into it. Other things are weaker. Like look at Coinbase. I can't even get filled in Coinbase where I want it. It just keeps on going to the downside. That being said, 69 does look like a pretty reasonable spot to take some profit or maybe even load some in front of VWAP. I got 3 that I know I like short, but Coin and Intel look way better and much more safe at this point than that Meta short does. And Alphabet, after that out, is it still good? Yeah, lower high again there for Alphabet. I'm not sure this one. This might be 108 if I buy any dip on this and we're running out of time. It's got to be closer to 108 on Alphabet. It's been a good one, but you don't have to rush back to the well when the market's coming back in.
I have another trade idea here, and it actually came to me because, well, first of all, it's up to 19, so I hit on a scanner there. Up to 19 is DraftKings, and I was just looking at I got to talk to Pratt about this one, because I can't find odds for Jake Paul to destroy Nate Diaz on August, whatever it is, August 8th or something like that. Maybe it's not out yet. But that's going to be a decent fight, I think. Anyways, it's 8 rounds. I don't know. Probably going to go the distance. I don't know if any of those guys are going to knock each other out. But that should be a fun fight for sure. I love watching these guys, man. I mean, so there's Jake Paul and the guy in WWE, Logan Paul. That guy's for real. Like, that guy just got another contract by the WWE, which is fantastic. But anyways, the 19 and Prime, like what those guys are doing with Prime, it's been amazing. So right there, 19, again, for DraftKings, coming back down to the downside right now. So that looks like a pretty good short up there. I don't know if we're going to get back to it, but I was calling DraftKings a great long down here at 11. Remember when this came in? I was like, this is going to be the one probably that you're going to look back and be like, we probably should have taken that one for sure. There's a lot of names like this that are still at, well, you can't see that now. Hold on a second. That are still at the bottom. Unfortunately, we have our position board. We're still trying to figure out like a solution for that because we want to give you guys, all of our positions and trying to show them. We talked about it on the side, but I don't know. Then you miss the side stuff. I don't know. We're going to.
No perfect solution.
I mean, the good thing is we have Fahad on our side, so he'll figure out how to do it. So I'm not. The last thing I'm going to worry about is that. But right now, I just, looking at this DraftKings trade, I think I like it. I just don't know how much I like it up here. It looks like it's sort of topping out right now. So what I mean by I like it is that I like it for a short if we can get into 20 or so. But what I'm talking about is that great bottom there at $11. But for right now, DraftKings, it's making that move off 19. So it looks like we want to get back into it. It's 323 right now. We said it's all about trading the right names. It doesn't really have too much juice in it today, but that 19 is something to look at. So if you get up to like 1898 or something. I don't know if there's going to be enough left in the day, but that could be a short right there, 19. Give it to like 1910 or something. You know, it's basically where we were here. Every stock had a nice move to the upside, but if you want to hold it to like that 0405, this little top wick right there, can't blame you. So it's a nice move. I think we could retrace back a little bit. We got to get closer to 19. That would be a little trade idea there on DKNG. And yeah, great outs on AMD. There's nothing else I can really say on that. We are now in only a third of it, as we've just gotten some more out, man, just down here. We have nothing out up here. I think it's just going off right now, back up to the upside. Would like to take some out, and actually we just broke the 50 period, so I'll put a bid at 36 if we can get something out right there. Would be nice. There it is. We got it out. So should have already had an out there. Now let's see if it can retrace back. My out's still up here at 70, and I will reload it.
And for those of you that are still looking at Tesla, it never got even close to breaking out. And there was a good, I meant to get over this, and then we sort of got sidetracked. A, with trading. B, with talking about what I thought was important messages to get across. And we're right back at 221, so Meta's going to get their close. PayPal, it's a strong one. It's up 1%. This might be something for next week, because there was a question, or at least a comment, about how strong it had been relatively. It's about that 50 period. If this can get above 77, it's got some runway to make a bit of a move next week. And obviously you can see the channel it's been in. Stocks like this that put a channel like that, when you have decent movement, you've been hanging around somewhere a little bit too long. Like if it breaks to 50, can get some momentum above the 200 period moving average as well. This is definitely a chance at a trend reversal. Double bottom on the daily, higher low at 70 even. So I think it's an interesting one there to be sure. I'm going to get back over to Meta because this market is not done. Checks Google, not at 109. Meta is at that 221. Remember I said I don't want to just automatically sit there and reload. I want to see what happens when it gets above. I need to see some weakness come in because the NASDAQ's right back up at that high. So decision point, right back to reentries on Intel and Meta if I want them. But for Coinbase not, but Intel and Meta right back at my entry points. At this point, I'm not really thinking about liking Meta that much. I might like Intel for a reload more than I like Meta.
Yeah. Oh man. So it didn't go up enough there, but AMD just went for a little jog on that break, I guess, there of the 50 period on the NASDAQ. So I'm still waiting. I was still trying to be patient with this, so I'm waiting at 91.59, I think. Yeah, I just put it there for the last. So we'll reload the position. This time, though, I'm only going to take 2/3 of the position I had up here. So a reason why is if I take another full position, my average price will again be 60. If I get out at 72, then I kind of give back too much of what we made here. So I'm only going to put on 2/3. So again, if you had 100 shares, then I would only put on 66 shares type of thing, right? So we'll put on 2/3 of this as it's come back up, and then we'll wait to see where we go on that one. Yeah, I saw that DraftKings is about to hit that 19 level again right now. So yeah, this could be a decent short up to 1904 again for DKNG. So yeah, I kind of like this trade right there, 1901, 1902, 1905 for DraftKings. So let's short that. We're pretty close. I'm going to put it off for right now at 99. See if we can get it on DraftKings. I'm going to give it up to 05 anyways. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback up into that level. And we'll sit there. We'll take it. It just touched 98. The reason why I want to be specific with this is, we only have 30 more minutes left to go. We have imbalances coming out. And the spot I want is 05s. So I'm happy taking it. And again, I don't want to have like a sour taste here into the close. So let's not just load it up on a random stock that we just called up right now. So we're going to watch out for this 1904, 1905. I don't mind it. See if it can come back. But look where the bottom is, right? This is why you got to be specific. Like, I think if we come back into this area, that's great. That's only 10 pennies. So risking 5 to make 10, worth it. But I don't know. We'll have to wait. We are getting close to getting an average price on AMD. We just went to 58, not 59. So we did not get filled there. I'll take a 55 and then recancel the 59 and go a little bit higher. But that's ultimately, there we go. We get the 55s. Now we'll go a little bit higher than that. We're watching out for a 71 break, guys, on this name.
So I'm out of Meta. We only have 30 minutes to go, so I'll kind of leave it with Coinbase and Intel. Just call it a gut call, but obviously it's a stronger chart. Like it's not really a gut call. Like this is a stronger looking chart than both Intel and Coinbase. Intel obviously the weakest one there. There's a couple of other questions in the chat. I know some people have been talking about some other names. I don't know if we'll focus on too much on the small caps toward the end. CNSP is going absolutely ham here. I'm looking for something that might be a long play if we get a buy and balance that's strong. Google's not at a price I like. Tesla 184 would have made a little bit of sense. It's already bounced off there. I mean, you're not going to get Meta 220 anymore. That's pretty much come and gone. So I am looking for something that looks like it's strong there. Palantir wants $9.
Yeah, he's
That's
right.
actually, really?
Yeah.
Palantir's at $9.
Yep.
880. It is. Strong move. You know what's interesting? A lot of people, look, this is not me saying it because I'm just repeating what a lot of people have already been talking about. It's like you have the AI craze and no one's really hyped about Palantir, which is, it's a little bit weird because I feel like the AI craze happened like a little bit before Palantir would be booming, but it's on the midst of a breakout on the daily chart. Like what else would you be looking for here on the daily? That $9, and if it breaks 9, that's, I mean, clear sailing. We were just talking about this with PayPal, weren't we? Just looking at the chart of PayPal, and that looks just as interesting as far as I'm concerned. Andrew Harris, thank you for the super chat for Bears versus Bulls. And this is why we got to slow down and read this diligently. Because it's been a while since I expressed recognition of the time and effort dedicated to the chat. Stay golden, man. Bears versus Bulls is the best moderator in the business. He does a fantastic job. Like the market moves fast, our chat moves fast. He does a great job, not just keeping you guys informed, making sure that everything stays pretty clean and calm on the chat, and also understanding, you know, sometimes we'll get news from Brennan and he'll reiterate that, letting you guys know we trade with Day Trade the World. And when people ask questions, he's answering them so that we can focus on what we do here, and we don't really thank him enough. Speaking of what we do here, I just reloaded in some Coinbase. We waited for it to get back up to that 70 level, at least close enough to that 70 level. Now the reload is on. There was a bit of an over-under before. I could anticipate that it happens again. So I like Coin. I like Intel. I want something, if we get that imbalance, to go to the long side, although we haven't gotten the early look just yet. I haven't seen it come through. I'm sure Sharif will give it to us, but I haven't seen it yet.
Well, 3:30 right now, so yeah, it's going to be coming up. I mean, I can just check it out. It's at Financial Juice right here. At Financial Juice, just to give everyone.
Oh, I see it. It's 326 sell.
Yeah.
So it's sell side.
Yeah, this is who we get it from, Financial Juice. So it comes out right here 22 seconds ago. I mean, this is where Brennan gets it from. He has them in their ear as well. We've had these guys on with us before, so we're not affiliated, so we don't take anything here, you know, as being a fact, but it's been really solid, and we appreciate everything they do. So you go to Financial Juice right now on Twitter, and there it is right there. Early mock imbalance, 326 to sell. So that gets updated. You know, we should ask, you know what? When Brendan's back, I think we should get him, Tony Knack, back on and see if they want to discuss that number with us.
Yes.
Where they get it from, how they develop it.
They were good guests.
No, they're great guests.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great guests for other reasons, but I mean, just for the information they have, they're great guests. But that would be kind of cool, so we can help our people understand exactly what that note means and where they get it from, and maybe any sort of little tidbits they can throw to us.
Well, that's true.
You know, maybe there's like a secret bat phone that we can have. You know, because, hey, I don't know.
You don't need a bat phone when you've got the 8-ball.
Yeah, you want to ask the 8-ball something?
Actually, I do want to ask the 8-ball something.
Let's do it.
NVIDIA, forget about NVIDIA, because if you look at where the NASDAQ is, we're down 0.4. The ES is down 0.4. So we're within spitting distance, right? We got 30 minutes to go. Can either one, I don't care, just one of them, can either the NASDAQ or the ES turn green before the end of the day? I think
that's a very fair ask.
And being short, I'd like to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only short AMD.
So we're going to shake it up, and I think it's an easy question.
Am I going to get out of this? So you asked it, will it get green?
Will it get green? Only if Apple is negative.
8-ball broken.
Like the 8-ball is...
Yeah, well... The only problem with that is, first of all, I still can't believe Apple's just doing a dance here. It's still at the exact same levels.
Thank
It
you,
can have
8-ball.
one move down. So we said, could it get green?
Only if Apple is negative. So basically what that means is anybody that wants a market
some news about
So
Apple.
maybe if somebody, I'm not going to name any, if somebody leans on Apple to the short side, holding it down for everybody else.
Oh, like Fahad's share size.
Then the market can go green. So,
if Fahad tweets out something negative about Apple. Oh, he only trades with the 12,000 share default.
That's it. You need more than that.
Yeah, but you know what?
If you had the buying power.
Maybe if it goes like $3 or $4 against him, then he still wouldn't punch out. Then he can average in, and then when it goes right back down, Yeah, I wish I had that 5/8 account on my account right now because I just get rid of some of these trades that we've had today. But we're pretty happy with it right now. Thank you, 8-Ball, for that. That seems to be a little bit misleading right there. See, if you would have asked the other way around, then it would have made sense.
Well, exactly. If we had asked.
So that's why I was just wondering if the 8-Ball had like little telecommunication issues.
The 8-Ball knows something
with that. Let's just check out DraftKings there. Thanks for pointing that out. It's still at the same level again. You know what? Scratch that, man. I appreciate everything that you guys were saying in the chat. I just went on a rant about it being stock selection. Like, if this is what DraftKings is going to do right now, it's like, oh, I'm going to go trade NIO. You ever seen this thing in the afternoon? I haven't even looked at it today.
Watch it be the one day it's moving.
I was going to say, see, good. Thank God it's not that, or else I would have looked even stupider.
Dollar says I can find a stock that's moved way less than that.
Look at this. This is every day in NIO. What? No, you cannot.
I got $1.
What, a stock that normally moves?
No, I got $1 that's, trust me, the biggest barcoding stock on the market, but it 100%.
What? Yeah, but you're going to have Siri or something.
No, watch. Wait till you see this.
Neil already took out $1. I mean, I don't.
No, don't worry. I'm being facetious. You don't even
I will see your dollar and raise you Vegemite.
That's not even.
I mean, hey, look, shout out to Russell Jackson. How much is Vegemite in the stores?
It'll probably cost more than $1.
Wait, so we've had this for a very long time.
No, but it's like, it's healthy for you, so it probably legitimately costs more than $1, man. Like, it's. Like you spread that on toast, and like it's good for you. So I would imagine it's probably worth. That's probably at least like
when we opened this, I don't even know if there's a best before date. We opened this, dude, like a year ago. It still looks exactly
that's not true. Valeria opened that. That's not 1 year ago, dude. That is old.
And I still think it's in perfect.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. It's probably good. Mullen has not moved.
At least that was pretty funny.
This is the
Mullen. Come on, dog.
Someone asked earlier, is Mullen's halted? Like, no, it's not halted. It's just doing that thing at 10 cents that it does. And this is not the first time it did it at 10 cents. If you look at the daily chart, it did this before at the 10-cent level. This doesn't look like much, but trust me when I tell you, the break from 10 cents to 9 cents, that's 10%. And it was capturable if you were a day trader that just wants to throw around your buying power in that stock, but you got to be sitting there waiting for pretty much all day when it happens. Wait for the move, make sure you capture it. But this stock, it's like it can't get away from 10 cents. It's not funny because people are caught long in the stock, so I'm not going to make a joke about it. I was about to, but I won't.
Well, I mean,
I'll make a joke about the fact that I just missed the bid again on Coinbase. Like, come on, man. I'm right there at 70. It doesn't want to come back down. So we're getting pretty tight to the close, which means got to get out of things that are not moving, which right now that's Intel. It gives me the reload. We had one good flush in Intel, didn't get the low of the day. Now it's right back in the same range. Don't want this taking out the top. So we might be down to only Coinbase as we go into that close. What else is out there? Thoughts on Woof? I don't know. I'm not going to fall for like every single small cap stock. I don't really know anything that's going on in Woof. I don't know much about the stock, to be honest with you. Alphabet's still at the same range. It's not moving. Tesla's not doing anything. Nvidia's back to 267. Wow, for a second, I thought Nvidia was going to close back red. It's right back to the high. Hey, this breaks the top. There are crazier moves than this breaking the top on the imbalances, like 267 even. Just go for like the quick in and out trade. That could be spicy right at 350. I'm going to keep my eye on Nvidia going into the close. I'll probably get out of Intel if it breaks 90. And then Coinbase, it's in the money, so I'll kind of hold on to that one, see what happens at 350.
I'm not trying to do anything too fancy here either. Let's just check out, another stock that's been barcoding for a bit, but now it's trying to break out, actually, SoFi right now. It looks, trying to break out. I don't know if it's trying to break out or not. It has to get above the 625 area before we actually call this any kind of a breakout. But there it is right now, SoFi. Just trying to climb upside a little bit. It's been 75 up to 90. I don't know, why this would be going up when the market's back up to near its levels. So that kind of makes sense. But there's SoFi, nice little bottom. Again, I guess it's not really moving too much there, but I just saw it pop up on a scanner as we break above the VWAP right there. So that's another name that is starting to go now above VWAP and trying to hold. SoFi, there's the daily chart on this name. Was just thinking that it's not, like I said, it's got to get this level there is 6. Oh, shoot. Look where this thing came from. Jeez. Okay, good job there, Mohammed, or whoever did that. That was good. But I'll just do it like this. So there's SoFi right here. That's that 625 area. Mahad, sorry. I heard Fahad laugh, and then I was like, okay. Okay, yeah, someone, one day that was going to happen.
No, actually, I didn't even notice it until.
Yeah, you know what? I just heard Fahad. I was like, wait a second.
He laughed, and I was like, oh, yeah, you did say that.
I'm sure that's not the first time that's happened to my guy over there. I mean, I'm sure not. But I ain't giving him a nickname like what Fahad has.
Feifei?
I still can't say that, man. It doesn't sound right to me. But anyway, SoFi trying to break that 625 area right there. I think that's maybe a breakout, and then that can get up to 7. So we'll watch this 625 next week for SoFi. And I guess it's just kind of going back up to the upside today. We had the bank stocks report. So SoFi, they're a little mini guy in that realm. So let's just check out JP Morgan. Are we taking out the high yet? Yes, we are. It looks like it's right back to the day's high right now. Staring 139 in the face. I mean, that was the high. We break that and we're off to the races, man. I mean, do you really want to be, think about this. Do you want to be shorts JP Morgan when you have more banks to come next week? I mean, you know, this is already a surprise. So this one I could definitely see this going through 139 there for JP Morgan. So watch out. Here comes AMD right back up to the upside. We're still waiting for that 60 short. Hasn't been much going on right now. It's 3:39. Only 10 more minutes till the imbalances, guys.
So for the record, I had not looked at WOOF when it got mentioned in the chat. So I had no idea that it made this move post earnings, right? So it got dumped on earnings. I kind of thought like it broke down. Like it's probably if I had guessed, I would have thought it would be at like $5 or $6, but that's not what happened. We always talk about the 3-day rule. Look at the example of the 3-day rule here. So dumps fresh lows off earnings. On the third day, makes a bottom, come back the next day, green. So if you were swinging, okay, it's made a consolidation, long the break, to the stop, bingo, bango, bongo, it's back at the 50 period, make your money, all that kind of stuff. But it hasn't really broken the downward trend just yet. So decent move for Wolf, I'll acknowledge it. But we got 10 minutes to go, and Coinbase doesn't want to wait 10 minutes to test the
whole
high.
market is just
everything is bouncing to the upside. I'll be out of this. I'm almost out of Intel, but I'm about to be out of Coinbase too. It's about to take the high here in about 5 cents or so. So going to have to get out of Dodge. I did want something along. I didn't find any setups that I liked, quite frankly. I should have had Meta off to 220. That was probably the only one that sat out there. I have a stop in for both these. Like we stopped out of Meta on the last 20% actually, and it bounced clean off 220. Like that was probably your chance to get the long. Nvidia does set me up here for a 267 break. I didn't want to take a breakout trade at this time of day, but I don't really see anything else that provides you with a quick in and out. I think maybe you can get to 67, just jam out of a bunch of it right away, and then see where the rest goes. Intel didn't stop me out, actually. That's pretty crazy. The VIX is crashing, 52-week low. Always interesting when the VIX makes one of those 52-week lows. Kind of makes you feel like we're in for a move next week. But Google, where's Google? Oh, Google could break 109 as well.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Google 109, NVIDIA 267. NVIDIA is right here. So Google might not get there till 350, which means I don't want to take that break. I don't want a breakout that's at 350. You want it going into 350 so you can get a continuation.
All right, I just want to show you what I'm thinking about here, and that was that the NASDAQ just came right back to that level again that we've already been at there, which is that bump up. So we did reload and got more shares short of AMD. So there's the NASDAQ right there. Tried to go again. I really feel like if we take if we bump one more time, then yeah, we may get to green today. We talked about, would that be possible to get to green today? The market is saying yes. Yes, it is.
Only if Apple's red?
Only if Apple's red. The market could get green with Apple being red. I said there had to be some news about Apple if that were to happen. So right now, the market and Apple, yeah, they're going to be hand in hand, right? It's such a huge percentage of both the ES and the NASDAQ that I don't really see that really happening. But there it is. We got a 65 fill there. We got a 57 out. Hopefully, or 50, it's better 57, I think. Maybe it was 57. All right, so we're waiting for more, man. I had a 51 bid. We got as low as 53 there. Yeah, that wick brought us to 52. We almost got 51s. Let's see if we can hold out hope, man. We're short at 59. Our out, we've already talked about this, is that magical 70 level right here, which is right where VWAP is, which is right where we just got it. So here it goes, man. The market's bumping. It does look like it wants to take this. It just did. Just took out the level right now. So there's the little bump up there. Looks like we're going to get stopped out on the last piece of that, which is fine. This is sort of part of the plan, which is never part of the plan to get stopped out. But as you start to go back to the upside, as long as we're trading above the 50 period here on the NASDAQ, I go into scalp mode, and that's something that I think that we have to keep on respecting. For me, I'm probably not gonna have nightmares about it, but I'll definitely have thoughts about it. And that is that we've been liking Google long pretty much all week, and it's like we were long here today, and we got out way early, man. This is 10:30. It broke the level. It broke this pre-market, or sorry, yesterday's close, which I was using as my out. So obviously a little too not generous enough, I guess, frugal on my out, and should have just given it a little bit more. It's always easy to look back and find these wicks, but that's where it says, you know, it goes back to that thing that we talked about, do what you do best. And I mean, we've been using this closing price. That's not even the closing price, that's this morning. The closing price yesterday was, it's still in here anyways, is right there. So we still use that price to get out, and unfortunately it just wicked lower, and we did get out of that one, and there it is. One last stop there on AMD as it just went to the upside. We got taken out a little bit more, so we'll get out of that one. So AMD, last part of this trade, not a win, but it was good. I mean, AMD is a great trade for me today. So we lose on that last piece as AMD continues its march higher as the market breaks. And, you know, you guys didn't think the market could go green, but, you know.
It really might.
I mean.
It really might.
It's just one move. I mean, it's one move away.
And remember, it was
a hold is the question.
The early look was a sell imbalance. So like one of the best ways you get a big move in the afternoon can be like an early sell imbalance that flips to a buy, or an early buy imbalance that flips to a sell. And pro day trader, I did take the Nvidia 67 break. So I know the position board's there. It's going to show you positions. It's not instantaneous. Like when 67 breaks and I get the fill long, it's not as if like it's instantly going to show you the update. It does take like a second or two, so you might not see it right away, but we do have this one long. However, it's not a home run, because if you remember, I was short Intel, now out. So the first time short good, the second time no. Coinbase as well, the first time short good, the second time no. So yes, Nvidia is going to the upside. I didn't find anything else that we liked on a long. Checking Alphabet, did it break 109? No, it has not broken the high. Okay, the high isn't actually. I'm saying 109 on Google, but really the high of the day is like 108.86. So just a bit of a clarification. Want to make sure we get it right there. It's not the high of the day. I got out. I got trailed out. The timing of the out wasn't bad, but quite frankly, this stock has been an absolute beast. What is Tesla doing? Not even breaking it. Man, that Tesla dip. Like, look at these dip buys. Wow, like get in there, like you have a 84.2 into a 184. Like that kind of risk reward is set up nicely. So Nvidia looks like it wants to close green, that's for sure. The market is the only question mark at this point. So if you bet the green, I feel like it was chalk for most of the afternoon, quite frankly, because it was trading close to 267 when we still had it open. If you bet the red, I'm just kind of curious, just for myself, 30% of the bets were actually on red for Nvidia. So congrats. 30? Yeah, 30% of the bets were to the red side. I'm a little surprised at that because I had the positive news. It was just, it was screaming up when we said, like it was here, but it was screaming up, and it just felt like it was inevitable at that point. I mean, I bet the red, but then whatever I made, I probably am going to lose it back on all those stupid duels I was doing. That I lost like 3 of them in a row while we were talking.
What is that? That just it just automatically is 50-50?
It's like a 50-50. So like I was talking, and then I'd see a you've been duel. I just hit accept, and I'd go back to what I was doing. I hit accept, go back to what I was doing. And then Bird versus Bulls is like, you just lost 3 in a row. I'm like, well, that sucks. So anyways, my points may not be as high as I think they are. I'm going to have to double check at the end of the day.
Yeah. All right, so I went long into AMD. You talked about NVIDIA there breaking that level. If AMD, I mean, if we go back below 65, this is just one last thing into the close, because I feel like the market is going to try to go green here. Now, whether or not it goes green or not, you know, we're going to try to be patient with it. So now we're long right here at 72 on this name. Oops. We want to get out some 78s if we can, making it move to the upside. What just happened there? Okay, we got a little piece out, but hopefully it can go up. I thought we would have got them all out there. Hopefully we can go back up to the upside here, fill us at 78 a little bit on this, and then we'll go from there. So right now, AMD trying to go back up. We're long 72s. I don't know. You know, just trying to play off that 65 level that we talked about earlier. Now back up to 75, 76. Okay, 77. Maybe I'll take a 77. This is just all I'm trying to do now is like we just lost 10 cents on that trade. You saw me go short 60s, out 70s. So if we can get this back up near 80 or so, then we can start to get some more out and then hold for that push, which is only 3 minutes away. So I don't know what the imbalance is going to be when it comes out, but this is what the imbalance looks like right here. I'm gonna, you know, at at 15:30, it's going to, sorry, 15:50, which is now in 2 minutes. We're going to update all this. I'm going to get rid of ARCA right now because we don't need the NYSE American exchange. And then it's going to flash through. And the last report that we had was it was a sell. So I hate being, go up a little bit AMD. I hate being in these positions knowing that these imbalances are coming out. But all right, I don't want to take 76s. We want to take some 77s, man. Hopefully this can go back, or sorry, 78s is where we're at. Hopefully this can go back up. We'll hit some 78s, some 79s, and then we'll let it go because we're long here at 72. So trying to make a dime on this. There, give me those 78s. There's a minute and a half until this imbalance comes out. And I'd rather be flat into that number, but at the same time, hopefully I can get something out for 10 cents and then we'll deal with the, the after effects.
Well, Jason B Gaming, I would have lost anyways. If you challenged me, I didn't accept it. It's because, we are a little bit busy here, and I was looking to see if I found anything else that I wanted to do. I don't. I will not take the break of the high of the day on Google, not at this time. So I got a trailing stop in for NVIDIA underneath break even, 67s, and I have an offer out at the high of the day, and that's all I pretty much care about. I do want to go over to Tesla for a quick second because this is also set up for a break of the highs. It could go crazy. What's crazy about this, though, is Apple really isn't that strong. It's very reasonable to think that you could go green without Apple because Apple's slightly lagging and it's not nearly as strong as all the other names I'm looking at. So I'm kind of curious to see what Apple specifically comes out for an imbalance because a lot of times that's one of the bigger ones out of the big, well, obviously the big cap names. Apple, the direction that it goes is going to move the market. So I'm going to have mine loaded. We got about 20 seconds to go. I'm sure you have it up as well. But just NVIDIA for me, I want that high of the day.
Yeah, we're both in chip names. It's hilarious.
Oh, great.
Let's just wait to see what happens. Now, we did get our 79s there, so we're pretty good right now. We only have half of our position left on AMD, so that's good. We'll roll with it now at 2 and 1. It is now 350. There it goes. Wow. See ya.
Ooh,
we just got stopped out of AMD right there as it took that down, but I don't know. Maybe that was a little premature with that move down. We'll get back in right there. We just got stopped out at 65, so we'll put that order in again if it does break. I don't want to lose too much money here. We don't have a big position, but we are in it back again.
I see sells every
yeah,
Intel
me too. We'll
sell.
get the number now in a second here.
Yeah, I don't know what the total imbalance is.
Sell, Comcast sell, Google there as a sell, Amazon as a sell,
Apple.
Yeah, they're all here, so they're all going out. This is why you get out, man. Our AMD trade is relatively nothing. Look at this Amazon trade downside. Remember we got out of half? So we made half, lost half right there, so flat, which never impressed with. Intel also a sell. There's the move down. Apple, not really moving on that. XOM, what's XOM? 116, it probably didn't move at all. Actually, XOM did sell off there. It's actually 10 cents, what? Okay, that's nothing. Yeah, so not much. I guess the biggest mover might have been Amazon, but that's only 20 cents. I don't know, not much happening. We're back into AMD though.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking for, I didn't see any of the chip, outside of Intel. We always see Intel and it doesn't really matter. It's not that big of an imbalance. NVIDIA. Oh, that's why. NVIDIA, 1 million paired volume, 7,000 sell. Like literally, absolutely nothing. That is the definition of a nothing. It came down because the market came down there. I was watching Apple just to see what happens in Apple, but it's not moving. It's staying red. That might have put the kaputs. Is that really the sell imbalance? 52 million to sell. So dead flat. So it actually paired off a bit. It didn't seem like there was enough buys that would pair off, but we're going to the upside on NVIDIA, but pretty much everything else kind of came off a little bit there. I'm not sure we get the highs. That doesn't feel like we're going to be strong enough to get to the high of the day. So I'll play it by ear. Trailing stop at break evens, and we'll see how far it can go. NIR, I've seen people talk about near intelligence here. Again, like a lot of times the small caps, yeah, that's a small cap we're running. That's a big one. 73%. There's a litany of these names that have been making moves. And we had Michael Noss even talking about some of these when they started to get back to some historical prices. Clean break, probably something worth watching above $5 and $6 if it can hold it for next week. But I didn't do any diligence on it. And this late in the day, not something we'd be trading, quite frankly. When it gets that illiquid and starts going into potential halt mode, and it hasn't even done it yet, it's a little hard to want to chase that one late, especially on a Friday, right? You don't want the rug to get pulled right at the end of the day on a Friday.
Man, I'm getting little bit exhausted here into the Friday. It's been a short week, but we're at full next week. Should be a good one as more earnings, man. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for the earnings plays. We've seen a couple great moves today in JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup, and then
we get big
saw
ones.
Delta, AAL. I mean, next week's all going up.
Netflix
What's up, Katina Glenn there? Someone in the chat there. Nice first or last name right there. Bud, you want me to look at the stock, Budweiser, or you want to say what's up, Bud? To me, they're BUD. I don't know. Is that doing anything right now? Anheuser-Busch.
Because they've been getting hit because of some of the controversies.
No, Budweiser's fine though. It's not doing anything.
No, the stock's not doing much.
No,
but I mean,
what's oh yeah, the transgender thing.
Yeah, so that's why it's been in the news. But the stock hasn't actually done that much. And look, if Bud was tanking 10%,
Bud's near 52-week highs.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's.
Oh, I know my.
I know this has been the bad, like quote unquote bad press, but the stock's been doing just fine.
Yeah, 66, 67, down to 65. So anyways, still chilling out there. I don't know much about the story, but I did see it there. Anyways, I don't have a comment on that, but nice move to the upside there for Budweiser. Maybe I need a Bud. Maybe that's what I need. I was talking about to my wife that I need a drink after
Innocent
all this.
gun guy.
All it's done. She sent me a wine of the week, which was some.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know where it was here. All right, it's a Viognier, so that's good. 2021 there, similar to a Pinot Grigio. Oh, here I can just.
I feel like a Moscow Mule. I might be doing that tonight. Why is that funny? No, my wife, she loves the Moscow Mule. It's one of her favorites. We have the, you have to have the right, I forget, now I'm blanking on the name of those, but yeah, you got to do it sometimes. Okay, I've moved my trailing stop on NVIDIA, but I wanted to quickly go over this because we always get questions about sort of training and whatnot. I want to make sure we get this one to you guys. I meant to talk about this earlier. Just a reminder for the campus program. You're going to want to just come to my screen for a quick second here, guys, if we can for a quick second, because we've been talking about the campus program. It's available to people that are in Canada, Canada only. If you are a student and in Canada and you want to learn trading on this platform, then this is for you. You can become a funded trader. All you got to do is go to campus.daytraderworld.com. You hit apply. They're currently accepting applications for May 15th start date. So I don't think I've said that at any point. Because we talk about this, we visit the site, you can see it, May 15th start date. So I want to make sure we're letting you guys know about this for all of our Canadian viewers who might be students, and hopefully there's a bunch of them. You get to learn and possibly become tradable traders, and it is flexible with your school schedule, which I know is a big deal for some people. And that trail that I tightened up is about to boo. I really thought NVIDIA might
Remember
go.
It was a buy that at 355 it flips. So
all right, I just got out of NVIDIA. It kind of just wicked down on me, but only 4 minutes left to go anyways. It's 25 cents I got on the last of it, so about 50 pennies at the best on that 67 break. You could have had 75 cents if you kind of literally just somehow picked the top, but obviously I can't do that. That's a fluke top there at 267.75. The market is coming back in. I guess green is a bit of a pipe dream here for the market.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, 0.3. Yeah, unless we get a crazy bump up. I didn't get out of anything yet. I mean, I'm still going to hold out for AMD. I do have an offer in the 80s, but I mean, the best we have ever gotten is like the 77, 78 area. So there's a couple more in the 80s. We've been going long here, taking them out as we drift higher, but I'm at 77. There it goes. We get that filled, and hopefully it'll break a little bit higher here. We can get out of the rest. You know what name has been pretty weak today? That's been strong in the market. Are you calling him, or are you just saying that as a stock?
No, isn't that a stock?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought it was when you guys were talking about that earlier, because I missed that whole conversation yesterday. But right there, Microsoft pretty weak today, man, down 1.37%. Yeah, never really got going. I mean, that bottom of 283, we'll see about that next week. But 286, 286.50 coming through for Microsoft. So different opportunities coming to next week, I feel like. Waiting for earnings. Some of these names have just gone crazy. Meta and NVIDIA both up huge this year so far. As the NASDAQ's up, I think, about 17% year to date right now. And Meta's up 100 and something percent. NVIDIA the same way. A lot of these stocks just continue to rip up. So I'm very, very excited for next week and for what's to come. Look at this size chasing down AMD. Look at that. There's some big size there trying to chase this thing down. Let's see if it follows it. But right now, there it is. Look at that. There's some pressure on this. It's not chasing it down. It's just planted there. Somebody with multiple offers at 73. I might as well just get out. But here we go. Let's see what happens at 73 right now. I'll get something out at 71. And then we can see. But there's the fill at 71, 72. Actually, it was 72. Now we'll see what happens at 73. Maybe if we blast that, then we'll get our 80 fill. But we're almost out of this AMD trade.
So a couple of things. There's a question in there, but someone just asked me to try a certain beer. They're saying, and this is the name of the beer, so I don't care. It's a Butt-Face Amber, or I don't know. But seriously, it's legit, and it's Indiana beer. Looks pretty interesting. If I can find it, I'll try anything. I have no idea. It's a random, probably local down in the States. I don't know if we can get it in Canada, but if we can,
you cannot.
I'm an innocent gun guy. Like that is 100% the rum cask. Like that's my go-to, to be sure. Like it's, it's absolutely delicious. I like to make a Manhattan or an old fashioned, but for some reason I want a Moscow Mule. We got 2 minutes to go, and I just noticed we didn't hit the 1,000. So here's the thing. Fei-Fei's not happy about the fact that we haven't hit 1,000 likes. So
if you don't like the video right now and subscribe to the channel, I might dunk on you.
Faitana is gonna dunk on you if you don't hit the like and subscribe. It's been a fun show, man. It's been fantastic. The market tried to go green. Nvidia making power moves. The chip name, we got some winners on those. Meta, Google, everything's been available to us in a day like today. And it's been a fantastic week. And earnings, baby. Earnings next week are gonna be fantastic and huge. We like the big names. JP Morgan, you couldn't go wrong. I mean, the levels were dead on with JP, and it just, you know what? What's amazing about JP Morgan earnings? I don't remember the last time that I saw something gap up like this on earnings and just say, nah, man, we're good. We're not really dipping. We're just gonna hold the line. The market was tanking and it was just holding the line at the top end of the range. Super, super strong. I think that bodes well for us going into next week. She is locked and loaded and ready to go in about 30 seconds. So we do have a treat for you, ringing the bell. Thankfully, it will not be busting our eardrums like the bait and switch this morning when Randy rang that bell. That was a bit disappointing.
All right, thanks, Kat, for coming through here one more time. I haven't seen her today. I was asking, is she even here? But thank you for coming through there, Kat. Coming through today to ring that bell as we only have now 20 seconds to go.
Oh,
what a great week, man. I thought we put together some great shows. Always very exciting. Oh, no. So she now broke the mallet quickly.
You should have seen what she was. Anyways.
No, she's all good now. It's
in
all,
5,
it's all fixed up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, I thought the mallet was going to break there at the very end, but it did not. Thank you, Kat, for ringing that bell there as we go.
She was messing around, just kind of doing this with the
mallet. I saw it fall off, but I was like, oh no. What will happen? What was that? Did you get it back on there? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so it's Randy has that super glue. I don't know why we just don't glue it.
We have super glue?
I think he likes, yeah, man, he has his own workbench. He built the desk. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it hasn't fallen apart yet. Literally the stage we're on. I mean,
something has fallen apart on that desk.
Trades.
I'm not gonna, but something did fall apart at one point.
We need a new mallet. I
well,
think.
we could
Someone
use
just
a
put that in the chat. Like, forget about fixing a busted up one that we have. It's pretty easy to find those. Maybe we'll do that over the weekend.
We'll invest this $1 into the new mallet.
First of all, we almost got green, so that bet.
Oh, did we?
On the NASDAQ, unfortunately, it's not. It wasn't a bet.
Oh, I gotta close. I gotta award
this.
the winner on this Nvidia.
Want to ask it anything right now, and I will figure it out. All right, Sharif, you ready to recap this this day?
That mallet has broken on me a bunch of times too, by the way. So I think that would be money well spent. All right, guys. We didn't eke out any green on the big names today. I'm talking about the indexes, but for the week, we are positive on the ES and the NQ. Just eked out some positivity there on the week on the NQ. The ES decided green. Let's go and see how American markets did today. The S&P down about 1/4 of a point. The Dow, though, leading the way down 0.44. The NASDAQ also about 1/4 of a point. Toronto finishes positive. All right, Brazil also down 1/4 of a point. Ethereum adding to the early gains there, now finishing up 4% off that Shanghai update, guys. What do you guys have in store for this weekend? I know I'm going to be resting.
You know what's interesting? Tomorrow morning,
it's
a pick. My daughter's starting T-ball this year for the first time. So tomorrow we got to pick up, well, not the uniform, but the pants. So it's that's big for me because I remember when I started playing ball, it was amazing. And then we're going to the Jays game. So that's usually once the season starts. If the Jays are home, I'm taking my daughter to the game.
Yeah, Tampa Bay 14-0 or 13-0 or whatever.
Tampa can't lose right now. It's annoying. Well, can they lose once, please?
I mean, apparently they played horrible teams.
Oh, they played all the worst teams.
And going 13-0 is a great start, how you finish.
The Jays are going to end that streak.
Yes, the Jays will win 1 of 3, I would think.
I'm assuming, I mean, you guys are always busy, but what do you have?
Yeah, I don't know. I just looked at sports and everything like crazy again. I just told the wife I would try to watch some sort of a movie tonight, so I think she's looking that up right now for us. But yeah, my kid's going to like a Dungeons and Dragons like thing.
Because that's out.
Oh no, we already went to that. We went to see that. He's going to someone's house.
Oh, like a watch? Oh, to play or watch party?
To play.
Play.
No, we can't. I mean, it's in the theaters. It was just released last week, or 2 weeks ago. But all right, so I hope everyone has a great, safe weekend. It's beautiful weather here. So if you're in the GTA or anywhere, it's literally 82 degrees.
Crack a cold one because it's gorgeous out there.
It's I'm gonna find out what the temp is right now if I knew how to use this. So there it is right now. Sunny in Toronto. It is 26 degrees right now Celsius. In lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So get out there, get on those patios. We talked about the Maple Leafs. That's not till Monday.
Right.
So I'm going to ask the 8 Ball on Monday what the Maple Leafs' chances of victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning are right now. But hey, good one. I just saw there. It's its 4th straight positive week on the Dow.
Oh, the Dow. Oh.
Take it.
Well,
Neil,
I was excited for it.
What do you make of Kevin Kiermaier so far?
Okay, look, Kevin Kiermaier is a great center fielder. He's done absolutely fantastic. I have yet to forgive him for the incident where he essentially stole our playbook. It's fine. He's amazing. It's great. I'll warm up to the guy for sure. He's a fantastic player. There you go. I said it.
Why did you bring that guy up, Sharif? What's up with
weird.
that?
That's just a question. I know Neil is like a diehard Blue Jays fan. I know it's a contentious question, so I thought I'd just raise it.
People don't know. Essentially, a few years ago, Tampa, one of their players, their rivals with the Jays, he slid into home. Our catcher dropped like our scouting report, essentially. He picked it up, the cameras caught him, and then he acted all coy like it was no big deal. Most people probably would have returned it. It's like, that's how you want to gain an edge. We asked for it back. They decided to keep it.
Come on, bro. Baseball. Cheating gets you World Series,
in baseball, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's been that way for 100 years, man.
Yep, exactly. Shout out to Pete Rose. Hopefully that guy gets eventually in that stupid Hall of Fame, which is a joke if the guy's not in it. We've talked about that over and over again.
It lessens the museum. It really does.
Yep, it really does. He should be in there for sure. All right, guys, have an absolute great weekend, man. It's been a good one. Thanks, Sharif, for filling in there. Thanks, Fahad, Mahad as well.
There they are. There they are.
Faitana.
Yeah, why are you just standing there, bro?
What's?
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Oh, Sharif's wrapping it up. All right, see you guys. I guess Sharif has to go. I guess Sharif has to go.
Okay, Sharif.
He's like, all right, I asked my Kevin Kiermaier question. Now, who cares about these guys standing here? All right, thanks a lot. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks, everybody in the Midday Show. Obi, Max was there as well. Thanks, Kat. Thanks, everybody that's helping us out. We've already done it. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls. We got a lot of love today on the show, and we want to thank you.
And have fun, Brendan, on
for everything we're doing. Yeah, shout out to Brendo on vacay now. He's not back till late next week, so hopefully, well, not hopefully, we got Sharif. So
I will be here.
Everything's on the good down low right there. Wow, it's 4:06. No wonder why this guy's getting antsy. All right, for everybody here at Trader TV Live, salute and have a great weekend. Ciao, everybody.